What's up, party people? Happy Monday. Ready to rock and roll. Chris was absolutely right. People say, are you really going to do that today? Yes.
Fascism free.
It is going to be one of those shows. Fascism free.
Suffering succotash.
Hey there, everybody. It's me. Oh, my Lord. That is crazy. It's all happening today, people. We were gone for a few days. Next thing you know, they're thinking about decriminalizing weed, knocking it down to the third.
Yeah.
How about that, huh? It's just going to be above aspirin. What do you think people will do? What do you think John Rose will do?
What do you think Mitch McConnell's going to do?
Mitch is going to be like, I can't believe they're trying to do it. Not on my watch. I don't think that's going to happen. Not today. Turtle pokes his head out. Hey, everybody.
You're not going to pull that in the bluegrass state. I'll tell you that right now.
I love that. And we don't even do weed here. Well, you guys may, but I don't. But I don't care that you do. And I think it's ridiculous. I saw that. They're going to decriminalize. If they can't say, look, this was really stupid. Nobody can just come out and be honest. Hey, guess what, guys? This is stupid. It was politics. It was awful. We've decided we're going to decriminalize it. It's not going to be a crime anymore. And we're all going to move on with our lives. But what about it being a gateway drug? We sold all the people on that. We sold the... What about the war on drugs? Well, drugs won. Did you guys ever have Red Ribbon Week at school?
I don't remember that.
What is that?
That's where, like, it was like like every day was some sort of day about.
Oh, it was a pledge.
Like a pledge. You had to wear the red ribbon. Then AIDS came along and took the red ribbon away from everybody. But before that, it was Red Ribbon Week. Oh, my God, yeah. We had, like, Mad come one day, and they bring one of the cars that got all smashed up. You ever do that?
The exception to the rule.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I remember was Nancy Reagan say no to drugs.
That's right. With Mr.
Just
T.
say no.
Mr. T?
Yeah.
It's me, Mr. T, fool. You don't want to do drugs.
Yeah.
Right?
I remember PSA that Evil Knievel did on drugs.
Oh, yeah. Don't do drugs or you'll think you could jump across something that you
It's
should
like
be
putting
jumping across.
nitrous in your bike. You may go faster for a while, but it's going to blow up eventually.
That was so great. Oh, he tried to jump the Snake River. Went like 3 feet and then exploded.
Oh.
And the build-up to that was just
Spectacular. I always laugh, though. You go back and you see what the guys are riding today. You see Evil Knievel was basically riding he had a lawnmower engine on a tugboat. And he was trying to jump stuff. It was like 1,800 pounds of fury. Oh, my Lord.
Did you ever have the Evil Knievel doll?
I did, man. I used to put him on the motorcycle, and you put that little thing through, and you pull it out, and then it would take off.
Yeah.
That was spectacular.
Evil slams right into the wall, gets a broken collarbone and 2 broken legs.
I used to have him jump my Stretch Armstrong.
Oh, yeah, Stretch Armstrong.
If you can jump Stretch Armstrong, you are the greatest of all time, sir.
Boy, but you didn't want Stretch to get a hold of you.
Nope. Good God,
He'd
no.
tie you right up.
He was a large man, I'll tell you that right now. And he was made of syrup on the inside.
Yeah. Yeah, it was red. Mine was red.
Yeah, mine was too. Like, well, we better taste it, see what it tastes like, right, guys? Like, yeah.
We couldn't get our neighbor to taste it for us.
Oh, no, that was spectacular.
He didn't have a great ability to recover from surgery.
No. Stretch did not. He'd stretch a long ways, but once in a while he'd go a little too far. He'd dislocate his shoulder. Next thing you know, he's leaking out of his armpit, and it's all over. Yeah. All over but the shouting.
Yeah, there was Stretch, and then wasn't there there was a monster, too?
Yeah.
So, looked kind of like a slee stack, didn't it?
Yeah. Or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, God, Stretch Armstrong was
Those were
great.
fun, man.
Stretch Arms and the Flex Fighters.
The Flex Fighters.
Yeah. So that became a cartoon. I remember that. That was spectacular. God, those were the days. Back in the easy. We didn't have to worry about the internet. Oh, speaking of the internet, did you guys see AOL made an announcement?
Oh, yeah?
September 30th is the last day you'll have a chance to do dial-up. There's 250,000 people who still do dial-up.
You're kidding.
No.
Wow.
Can you believe that?
I thought that was gone.
I didn't even think you could do that. Is it possible? How?
This must be way out in the boondocks.
I would think so, but they also say it's a lot of older people.
Well, yeah, I can see that.
Used to get those discs. He was trying to explain to the kids. So they used to send these things from AOL and everywhere. It was like 20,000 minutes of free internet.
Incessantly.
Right.
God, you'd get those just every single day.
Like, how can these people stay in business sending all this crap out? Yeah, but I was reading that AOL has 250,000 people still use dial-up in the country. 2015, there was 2 million people that use dial-up.
I wouldn't have guessed that there was 250,000 people using AOL.
No. I got to be honest, I didn't know AOL still existed. I had no idea. I thought that went the way of like Hotmail and stuff. Remember when they got rid of Hotmail?
I did too. I thought when all that everything went down with the Time Warner merger and they became, what was it? Time
Warner?
Yeah. That once that kind of collapsed, they shut it down. But I guess I was wrong.
I was like, those are probably the last 250,000 people that have a home phone. That's it for them.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? What are you going to do now that you have to do no dial-up? You've got mail.
That's pretty good, man.
It's just, somebody says if they decriminalize marijuana, John Rose is going to have a aneurysm. It's possible. People still have Hotmail. Really? Somebody said one of my best friends is still AOL. Have you explained to them they got this new thing now, and it's called, Starlink. So we had Starlink out in Arizona. We still have it on our house, and it's so fast. It's awesome. It is incredible. Never have any issues with it. And just, you put it on the roof, you point it, and you're good to go. You're good because we lived out in the Valley of the Dirt People. We couldn't get decent internet.
Right.
Because it was in the middle of nowhere. Now they've got fiber and stuff they put in over the last couple of years, but that's how long it took them to get out there. So we got Starlink when I was doing my show from home. I'm like, I need something fast-ish. And they have been spot on and never had an issue with it, ever. It was incredible.
Awesome.
So we'll have to tell those people they can get that now. No more buffering for you. You've got mail. Can you imagine watching Netflix or adult stuff? It's buffering. Hey, baby. Oh, my God. Oh,
Hurry before the kids come downstairs.
this could take a while.
Change the channel.
The Wheel of Death. Those are the same people who still have Beta. Beta. It's going to change the world. It didn't, by the way.
It went away rather rapidly.
Yeah, kind of like DAT machines. Remember DAT machines?
They had about
Vaguely.
15 minutes of fame, and then they were
15
gone.
minutes of fame. Because DAT was a digital audio tape or whatever it was. They were like these mini.
We got one in here.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Cast down.
those where you put the little discs in them.
No, the little tapes.
Little tapes. Yeah,
They're
they were
smaller than Betamax.
Yeah, it was a trip. It was an absolute wacky thing. There's so many things that floppy disk come and gone.
Oh, yeah. They're floppy disk.
Floppy disk. That was great. The floppies were awesome. Got to put the floppy in, shut the thing,
Yeah.
then go in there, do that, then do this. Then you had CD-ROMs.
Yeah, you're hard-pressed to find a computer that has a CD-ROM or a DVD player in it
No,
anymore.
not anymore.
No, yeah, that's gone.
That's special order now.
Yeah, if you could even find anything like that. My stepdaughter, she's my daughter. She's mine. She's 16 and she's really into she thinks VHS machines are cool. So she's got a VHS machine. She's got all of these tapes, and she'll go somewhere and she'll see a box of them. She buys them for $5, and they've got just movies from the 80s and 70s. Takes them home, and because they're fascinated. Like when I was a kid growing up, what was it? Was it the Laserdisc? Remember the Laserdisc?
Yeah.
You guys remember? So Laserdisc was like the highest quality, way higher than VHS and Beta.
Also much more expensive.
Much more expensive, but it was usually, you had to, in the middle of the movie, it would stop. You'd have to go over, and like a record, you'd have to flip the Laserdisc and then put it in.
It's almost like it took its cues from the 8-track.
Yeah, it was really, they're like, this thing's going to be great and gone soon. But look how far we've come. I was telling Belle, so The only thing worth a damn that anybody will spend money on are hits on television that they know are going to be around forever, which is that comfort food and sports. And Paramount Plus just paid $7.7 billion for the rights to UFC. And if you get Paramount Plus, you do not have to pay for anything. Every fight, including the pay-per-view, absolutely free. That is going to put Paramount Plus over it. What a smart thing to do.
Man, Paramount Plus is like rocking it right now.
I know. I like Paramount Plus.
Plus, they have exclusivity on some of the bigger IPs like Star Trek.
Star Trek. They're the ones who spent all the money on South Park.
Yep.
They're also, I mean, they've got so many things because it's CBS and all of them, and they've powered it all in, and they've got what's his name, son, Ellis. The guy who runs. Oh God, what the name is that? He's like the fourth or fifth richest person in the world. His son's now running Paramount and everything. So it's, they spent all that money and he's like 40 years old. They're like, here's a toy for you. Go run Paramount.
Just try not to run it into the ground.
That's a damn good thing right there. Oh my Lord. So much stuff to get to. Uh-oh. Cookies from Target recalled in 20 states, including Tennessee. Get on this.
What kind of cookies?
Marijuana?
No. They're fentanyl cookies. No, these are they're my favorites. The sugar cookies that you get at like Walmart and Target, and they're really soft and they have like sprinkles on them.
Right.
It's those. Those things.
What's
are so
the recall for? Why'd they recall?
They hadn't said yet, but it's not 20 states. They're recalling them. It's got to be bad. It's got to be bad.
Yeah, Little Bites.
Ooh. Now we have some out there already.
What?
There's some sitting on that. What is that bookshelf right there?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they better not eat them.
Well, we're gonna go find out if somebody.
That's 104 stuff. That's.
Well, I didn't put them there. I just said they're right there.
But who? Well, we need to tell somebody over on GFX that they're eating poison cookies.
We will. We're gonna have to go do that.
Or
let's see what happens. Because maybe that's just more of a panic mode. Because those cookies are my favorites. Those soft cookies. Oh, I love those.
Yeah, man, those things.
A lot of stuff to get to today, kids. We're going to get to it. What's the weather going to be like this week here, sir? I know we got some rain.
We're heating up, boys.
Uh-oh.
We
Swamp ass
are
time?
heating up. We might have to plug the swamp ass meter back in.
Oh, I better fire it up.
I mean, now
With my AOL.
the thing about it, though, is I'm wondering if maybe humidity is not going to be such that we have to worry about the heat index that much. But I mean, today, yeah, it looks like we better go ahead and plug the swamp ass meter in. They're talking about heat index values as high as 103 degrees today.
Oh, that's like a 4.
Yeah, that's like a 4.
Man, I hate swamp ass. Kid at school got swamp ass. Cats followed him around for a year.
That's right. WSMV said hot, muggy, and swamp ass.
Whew, then tomorrow, heat index values as high as 105.
Oh, Nelly. It's going to be gross outside. That's the best way to describe it. We're going to be here for the whole thing, kids, so be prepared.
And this week it's supposed to be down to it's supposed to be a 50-degree differential in Wyoming and Montana. It's supposed to drop 50 degrees.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because of a cold front coming through.
Chilly, cold front. They're already starting their winter. Where are we? Today's not too bad. I expect to get a little bit worse, but I'm looking at the rain over the next few days, and it looks like we could get some rain, which means some swamp. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Muggy, swampy. So much crap to get to today. We'll talk a little bit about D.C. and the lunacy going on there. What is going on in D.C.? Pay attention, because Trump's taking over everything. We'll talk a little bit about that. We got more on Israel. We got some Russia stuff. We got some wacky, fun stuff as well. Got your urban word of the day, to name a few. If you miss any of the show, we say shame on you. Grab the podcast. We're across all social media. We're on Twitch. We're on Rumble. We're on X, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. You know where we are, people. Like and subscribe. Chad Bench Show, Super Talk 99.7. Prize Picks is ready for you. It is that time of the year. Preseason football is back, baby. And guess what? Now is your chance to win. Prize Picks best place. Turn your sports knowledge into cash. Millions of members, PrizePick has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. It's a more or less thing. You pick more, you pick less. It's that simple. At least 2 players for a shot to win 2,000 times your cash. So it is going on now. Okay, so it's simple and easy to do. PrizePicks, daily, you can play it. All right, so you more or less. When I say more or less, say you can, right now, Cam Ward. Will he throw for more than 100 yards? More or less. Boom. It's that simple. And then maybe over here you think, okay, the Green Bay Packers, they're going to let Aaron Rodgers get out there and have a runaround. Will he throw for more than 150 yards or 2 touchdowns? That's simple. That's how you win. So easy. You can play it in 60 seconds. This is what I want to do. Download the app tonight, right now, okay? And use code CHAD. You get $50 immediately when you play your first $5 lineup. So your lineup is what I said, more or less, you pick 2 players. You're going to get $50, win or lose, on your first game. The minute you play $5 direct into your account. Apply a PrizePicks. Run your game.
Tennessee and Kentucky among states where cookies sold at Target are being recalled because they might have some wood fragments in them. And dozens injured, 1 person missing after an explosion at a Pennsylvania steel plant. These stories and more at 12:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
So more history today. Joey Witz is ready. We hope you're ready. And here we go. Joey Wentz likes that first call from Jim Powell.
He'll take it, and I wonder if they're going to take the baseball. I guess not. I thought that maybe that would be kind of a big one. There we go. Now we got it figured out.
Yep, they are going to authenticate it, and Jim Powell will forever get to keep that ball.
That's right. We let a woman umpire a game. What do you think now? They're going to drive?
Both teams lost?
Both teams. America lost. She did a fine job. It was okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, she was 13 out of the 15 umpires that day. Hey, look, I got news for you. Umps, you guys are all going away, male or female, because we're going to have robots. That's it. She was excited. She did a fine job. She did. Friday night was her first night. She did. I think she was first base, and then she worked behind the plate yesterday.
Was she able to get home in time to make dinner?
She was. great.
That's Brother Bilal, everyone, everybody.
Oh my God, that was spectacular. She was. Oh my Lord. And then the NFL football is back. And Jacksonville Jaguars, I guess it was, said, hey, our kicker, look, the ball's on our 40. You want to try a field goal? He's like, yeah, why not?
Is it a bigger bummer that it's not going to count because it was a pre-
Yeah, it does. It does suck, but you know, that means we just got to go out there and make it again, right? But yeah, I was talking to Dylan. I was like, dude, does that count? And he's like, no, it doesn't. So it's unfortunate.
You still keep the ball?
Yeah, I'm keeping that ball. Heck yeah, I'm keeping that ball. Are you kidding me? Yeah, 100%.
70 yards. He broke the record. What would be? It's not official because it's not in a regular season game. To give you an idea, 70 yards. That's on your side. It's not at the 50-yard line. It's at your 40. And he made it by about 4 or 5 yards.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
He thumped that thing. And he did it in Pittsburgh, which is arguably the worst place to kick a football. How about apples or those have?
He's going to be drawing a paycheck.
Yeah. That's a...
And it will be signed by Roger Goodell.
It will be. That was spectacular. I was like, no way. Oh, my God, he's going to make... And he did. He thumped it.
Wow.
They were all surprised. First person to meet him was Travis Hunter. Was he the number 2 overall pick out there? And he was like over the moon that he kicked it. I was like, there's no way. I remember as a kid growing up, you kicked the ball if you made a 50-yarder, woo!
That was a big
man.
deal.
Morton Anderson would kick a 52-yarder. Yeah, those guys used to run head on and kick the football with their toe. Those guys were spectacular.
Barefoot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But the guys who used to run and kick it with their toe, those guys were great. And back then, used to look and like, he's a soccer kicker. The guys that kick in the toe, Jim, I got news for you. He's doing pretty good this year. He's 17 for 93. He's made almost a quarter of his extra points. Now, if you miss an extra point, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Crazy.
man.
70 yards.
There's no in between for the kicker. You either make it or you don't.
Yep, no doubt. Well, it's the weird, loneliest position in sports.
It is.
Nobody likes you. They like you, but they don't hang out with you, right? You hang out with the punter, and you hang out the kickers. They kind of and the long snappers.
Yeah.
They all hang out together. That's it. And the only time anybody notices you is if you miss a kick, and that's it, or if you make a kick to win a game.
Yeah,
and that's it. No, outside of that, nobody cares.
Yeah,
no, nobody does. It is a lonely. It's like being a reliever. But if you're a reliever and you mess up, you probably have the next night, where you got to wait 7 days and you may get fired because nothing is guaranteed in the NFL.
and then you may miss more kicks the following week.
Yeah. Oh, everybody's mad at Bell. That was fantastic. Bell did it, right? That was all Bell? I thought it was brilliant.
That was all Brother Bell.
If you can't laugh, what are you going to do?
Sandra said, the show. I said, Step, what up? She said, you guys remind me of a sleepover 12-year-old kid. You are constantly reminiscing, and that's a sign of depression. Is it?
Well,
I've
got clinical depression.
I'm having a great time. We're having a great time. That's it. That's
I like
called
talking about my old toys.
Yeah, for those of you who listen here all day for politics, what we're doing is called laughing. It's maybe new to you. They don't do it a lot on Fox or Newsmax. We have a lot of fun here. We talk about all kinds of stuff. We could talk serious stuff too if you want to. But sometimes we do and sometimes we don't. We talk about life. And life is at times crazy and chaotic, and sometimes it's fun. And we like to share it that way. And none of us are depressed. Maybe Bell, but he made that comment, so he's doubly depressed as we speak. But it was hilarious, right, guys? It was
That's pretty good.
awesome. Fantastic. Coming up, maybe we'll talk a little bit about Russia. See how this thing goes. They're going to meet. It's funny how they're meeting. Everybody's meeting but the guy who's got to sign off on the deal because he's not invited. Plus, we'll talk about the crime in D.C. It's worse than anything we've ever seen before in the history of mankind. It's never been so criminalized.
The likes of which has never been seen.
Never been seen. We'll do that, among other things. Straight ahead, Chad Bench Show, Super Talk 997.
12:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast in 5 minutes, and a recent recall issued for Favorite Day Bakery frosted sugar cookies sold at Target stores in Tennessee, Kentucky, and 18 other states. Favorite Day Bakery frosted sugar cookies. This is the 10-count packages, 13.5 ounces. Potential contamination with wood fragments. Do not eat the cookies. You can dispose of them or return them to Target for a full refund. Dozens injured. One person missing after an explosion at a Pennsylvania steel plant. This is just outside of Pittsburgh. It's the Steel Clairton Coke Works plant. This plant's a critical part of the U.S. steel industry, considered the largest coking operation in North America. Multiple ambulances, emergency crews on the scene, a rescue operations underway. President Trump says a decision on marijuana coming in the coming weeks. Trump has stated he is considering reclassifying marijuana as a less dangerous drug, moving it from its current federal classification as Schedule I controlled substance to a Schedule III drug. It would significantly ease restrictions on buying and selling cannabis. And President Trump talking about 800 D.C. National Guardsmen, putting Washington, D.C.'s police department under federal control.
You want to have safety in the streets. You want to be able to leave your apartment or your house where you live and feel safe and go into a store to buy a newspaper or buy something. And you don't have that now.
Yeah, we could see those guardsmen on the streets of D.C. by week's end. And firefighters taking over in California, having success battling wildfires that developed last week in extreme heat.
Even though it remains hot and extremely dry here with temperatures around and above 100 degrees in many areas, firefighters have made substantial progress on wildfires that were threatening homes and lives last week. The Canyon Fire north of L.A. is now at 91% containment. The Gifford Fire, burning in a remote area of Santa Barbara and San Luis Obispo counties, is huge at around 120,000 acres, but containment has risen to 33%. Fire activity on the wildfires is way down. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
All right, guys, I'd like to talk to you about my friends over at Beacon Capital Management. They want to talk to you about some of the new things in the One Big Beautiful Bill. That's right. So you know it's gone into effect. So what does that mean to you? Well, there's things in there that you probably had no idea, like new deductions. How about this? Temporary deduction that's still out there is $10,000 in car loan interest, but only if the vehicle was assembled in the U.S. along with other restrictions. So that's why you need to talk to Beacon. On top of that, they got new, say you want to itemize, but then you're like, I don't really want to do that. They have above-the-line charitable deductions of $1,000 for individuals, $2,000 for couples. It's not one size fits all. It's about learning what's out there. On top of that, they got time-sensitive tax things. Big wins for you right now, including if you're over 65, you're eligible for additional senior deduction up to $6,000. Now, there's a phase-out with that. Let them explain it to you, among other things that are going on with the One Big Beautiful Bill. So no matter what you're looking at, whether it is things like, I don't know, taxes or potentially healthcare or potentially your dollars and cents, let Beacon help you with that. Beacon Management can help you understand how to take advantage of all of these things and more. For a free personalized financial consultation, visit beaconcm.com or call 615-488-9303, 615-488-9303. This is a paid placement.
For many of us, generators are becoming a must-have household appliance. From unpredictable weather to surprise outages, it's better to be safe than sorry. Generator Supercenter of Nashville offers fast and easy installations with 24/7 service and monitoring to all brands of generators and expert repairs done right. Our mission is to make owning a backup generator simple and easy. Visit your local store today or check us out online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
What city's next? Will it be New York, Chicago, Los Angeles? The danger that is. Trump is fixing crime, everybody. I want you to know that. I didn't realize that D.C. was that bad. It's been that bad for a long time. How about St. Louis? There's a bad. East St. Louis, I hear, is not nice. Not nice. There's a couple other places that you could think of. But Trump's coming in. It's going to save everybody. Are you ready for it? There we go.
And it's embarrassing for me to be up here. You know, I'm going to see Putin. I'm going to Russia on Friday.
Alaska.
I don't like being up here talking about how unsafe and how dirty and disgusting this once beautiful capital was.
You're going to Alaska, sir. That's ours. They sold it to us a long time ago. So is it nasty and dirty? Yeah, kind of. Certain areas are. Absolutely. Certain areas are, you don't want to go there. Just like East St. Louis. We used to joke, man. I went to St. Louis and we tried to get our cab guy back for Uber to take us to East St. Louis. That's where, if you guys don't remember, I'll remind you guys. And this isn't because it's depressing, just because it's hilarious. Remember Vacation, the movie, when they got lost in East St. Louis and they asked him if you could tell him where the freeway was, and he told him to go blank his mom. And then they robbed him. Yeah, that's East St. Louis.
Wow.
Yeah. Not a good thing to say, by the way. And you're not going to Russia. You're going to Alaska. I want to remind everybody of that. And this is what the left will say. Well, crime is down. Certain crime is down, yes. And Stephen Miller came out there today. This is more dangerous than Iraq. It's not more dangerous. Trust me, you'd rather wander through D.C. as bad as it is than Iraq.
Yeah, there's not IEDs going off in Washington, D.C. that I know of.
No, there's not. So it's not as bad. There's plenty of other cities that are awful, but D.C. is our capital. And it is gnarly, and it is nasty. And they've got to do better, and they haven't done good for quite a long time. Since I was a kid, there's always been a joke about D.C. being so gross. My buddies, well, I do my other show, and it actually, so I do it out of here, right? I've got, not here, but my home studio, but our headquarters are in D.C., and they'll tell you stories about where you go, where you don't go, why it's so important to have specialized parking to get into certain things. Oakland is pretty bad. Like I said, Oakland lost an In-N-Out burger because of the crime. That's insane. Where they tell you things like, don't lock your doors on your car so people won't break your windows. Leave the trunk open. It's probably best because, well, you know, that way people don't break into your trunk and then you have to get that fixed. That's insane. That is insane. So we'll see what happens. Do I like having the feds roam the streets? No, I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not. I don't know how bad, you know, like the latest crime thing said that crime's down 25%. That's always a bit of misleading because so many places now don't even report crime. It's not even worth it. It's not. Your car gets stolen. The last 2 times we went for my son's hockey tournament in California, we drove from Phoenix to Orange County for one, and then the other one we drove to the Inland Empire, which is the original Valley of the Dirt People. The Inland Empire, our car got broken into, and then someone stole my mom's van. And my mom's van specialized because my little brother's in a wheelchair and everything. The next time I went for him, we were near Disneyland, Anaheim, decent area. Somebody broke in, stole all of our stuff. This is what's crazy. We were moving up to our room, and we came back down, and our doors were wide open. Everything's gone. We didn't report that. What are we going to report? They're not going to do anything. So that's kind of misleading about the crime statistics. If you stop prosecuting crime, arresting for crime, and people stop reporting it, doesn't mean it's not happening. It just means people are frustrated with it. Meanwhile, Trump is going to deal with the pooter, which should be rather interesting, to say the least.
The Ukrainian president is left on the sidelines of this week's meeting. Several European leaders, including France, Germany, and the UK, issuing a joint statement insisting the path to peace in Ukraine cannot be decided without Ukraine.
Yeah, It's always been a land for peace thing. And that's what it's going to be. They're going to get a decent amount of certain areas. They're going to get what they really wanted originally was they wanted to have that by the Black Sea, that warm water port. And they've got that now. The problem is Ukraine's destroyed most of their vessels. So you've got a port now and you don't have a lot of ships. And they're going to get a few things, Ukraine, but it's not going to be what they want. But before they sign off on anything, there's going to have to be okay, if I sign off on this, what is my guarantee that America and the West is going to protect us? Okay, you're not going to let us into NATO because you're not going to do that until Putin's gone. So you don't let him into NATO. Okay, that's fine. I got no problem with that. What now is the recourse if the Putin decides 3 months from now after signing it, nope, we want more? Well, there's got to be something in there and something a little bit more ironclad than what we signed in 91 or 92 when they said, hey, you guys should give up all your nukes and we'll protect you just in case. And we're like, yeah, we're behind you 100%. Then it happened. We're like, that was the other guy that signed that, not us. It's going to have to be something else. It's going to have to be us, the West. Like, you're going to have NATO behind you if this happens. Now, if you invade them, that's a you problem. If you attack Moldova, that's a you and Moldova problem. But if the Putin jumps and tries to take more, well, then we're behind you. If he does that, that's a big if.
The president has already suggested any deal would involve, quote, swapping of territories, something Volodymyr Zelensky has made clear he will not do, saying Ukrainians will not give their land to the occupier.
Yeah, you're going to have to. You're going to have to give us some of it. And certain areas of that place, let's be real, it was Russian-speaking in certain areas. It's a nightmare. And it needs to come to an end. The amount of people dying on both sides is ridiculous. And Trump's got an opportunity here to go to Alaska, sir, not Russia, and put some pressure on. Because the pressure that's come from all of his sanctions, those pressures were kind of, they had a war economy, so it's been strong. Your war economy's strong. You were able to overcome a lot of what the fear was because you had third parties that would purchase from you and either sell it on somewhere else or they would just outright purchase from you for their own, like India. If we put pressure on them, that is going to force those people to make a decision. Are you with us? Do you want to be a part of this, the biggest market on the planet, or are you against us? We need to know. And so this is going to be an interesting situation to see how they can make this, work. Because I think if Trump leaves on Friday to Alaska and he comes home and he doesn't get at least some movement towards something, I think he's going to go harder after India and several of these other countries. If there looks like there's movement, then you have to sit down and talk to Zelensky. And I don't know how.
Well, and Zelensky's not going to come right out and go, "Oh yeah, I'll agree to all that."
Yeah,
he's got to play his cards close to the vest, but he knows he's going to end up having to give up something.
Yeah, and he has said that because you need to. You're good. It's always been a land for peace deal. Russia's, not just the whole thing about NATO and the fact that NATO's encroaching onto, Russia and their sovereignty or whatever that they're always worried about. This is also something that he feels, these guys get this stuff in their head and they think they're destined for something. Putin's always said that the falling apart of the Soviet Union was the greatest disaster in world history. And because of that, he's got this belief that he can reunite the best bits of it. And that's also like, he's thinking legacy and wackadoo. They all think legacy. They all do. They all think legacy. And he thinks he's going to be able to reunite some of it, even if he's got to take it inch by inch, by inch by inch. And that's what he's doing here. So it was always going to happen.
he went in. It's been 2 years, and he thought this war was going to be over in 3 days.
It would have been had America not handed them so much stuff.
But Ukraine is actually
they're pulling the triggers.
They're not just holding their own. They're getting some pretty serious licks in.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. And the other thing is, if it's taught us nothing, is outside of their nuclear weapons, and who knows what those really look like, they're a paper tiger. If they had to go up right now against Poland, Poland would absolutely curb stomp them and then head straight into Moscow. And by the way, for you not keeping score, Poland is itching to get payback. They look over and they see the Germans and go, all right, you guys are coming too. And they look over and they see the Russians. We owe both of y'all a little can of whoop ass. And Poland has been the one throughout this entire time that has spent a ton of money on their military. Those guys are trained to the hilt, and they're ready to roll.
Well, and I just remember early on in the war, just seeing those convoys of tanks and other Russian military assets stuck in the mud. Couldn't go anywhere.
Oh, absolutely.
Had Ukraine had any type of elite air force, they were sitting ducks.
They were sitting ducks. And what did they do? They learned how to adapt using $500 worth of drone stuff and some explosives. They've turned this into a war that it's almost World War I, where it's like house to house, area to area, like, from one backyard to another backyard. But he's right. Because we wouldn't give him anything. We wouldn't give him, like, they had a small air force, but it was nothing like the Russians had.
Right.
Remember when they blew the Russians with their air force? Was 2-3 months ago with those drones?
Yeah, took out like a third of their so-called stealth bombers they had, something like that.
So that was brilliant. So it'll be interesting to see. It's the first step, and I think at some point in time there's going to be peace. Zelensky's not going to be thrilled 100%, but as long as he's got a guarantee that we will back him should something else happen, I think he'll be okay with that. Now, what does that mean? I don't know, because we were supposed to back them, back in 92 and 91 when they signed hey, give up all your nuclear weapons. And if this has taught us something, kids, don't give up your nuclear weapons. If you get them, keep them. People are less likely to do things to you then. Coming up, got an urban word of the day. A lot of other stuff to look forward to on this most festive day. Got some of your text messages as well. Man, there's some crazy stuff going out there in the world that next hour we're going to do a story about. I don't know if you guys saw this. Did you see the lady at Chuck E. Cheese in California? Fantastic.
I can't wait.
It was not a fist fight. It was nothing like that. Let's just say, what are you people doing at Chuck E. Cheese doing these things? That's all I got to say. It is the Chad Bench Show, Super Talk 99.7. WebRoot, speaking of protection, you need to protect yourself. Things from, those horrible viruses, you need that. You need web protection. WebRoot, well, it delivers that. So they got plans that are awesome. Individuals, 1 identity, up to 5 devices. Families, 10 identities, up to 10 devices. So think of your parents, your elderly grandparents, your kids, right? Stay away from online predators. WebRoot protects you against malware, ransomware, phishing, so many other things. Password manager, which is always a nice thing to have, as well as identity protection, which is important to have. People are looking for your data and your identity, and they protect it. WebRoot's incredible. Up to $1 million in theft-related expense reimbursement and advanced dark web monitoring. They have VPN and backup, which is awesome. It's incredible. So they got 2 different plans, perfect for you and your family. Don't go on the web without some sort of protection. Trust us. I've been there. It can be a nightmare having your stuff stolen. It is crazy how good these hackers and people are. They're always looking for data. WebRoot's there to protect you. 50% off WebRoot Total Protection or WebRoot Essentials. All you got to do is go to webroot.com/Chad. Remember, offers only available at webroot.com/Chad. WEBROT.com/Chad. Live a better digital life with WebRoot.
Reports say at least one killed, dozens injured in a steel plant explosion just outside of Pittsburgh. That story and more coming up at 1 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Coming up next hour, we're going to talk about crazy Chuck E. Cheese things, plus Gen Z. It's a great piece that News Nation did on Gen Z, talking about some of the wacky stuff, including the thing I've been saying, and nobody believes me. They're bringing their parents to work interviews. I'm not lying, kids. I'm not lying. They also talk about the words they use.
Now it's time for the urban word of the day. The young have a vocabulary all their own, and we break it down for you. It's called the urban word of the day.
All right, today's urban word, caught in 4K. Caught in 4K. That means you caught somebody in the act, usually online with proof, similar to having receipts. You saw with your own eyes, took a picture of it, this person and the whole thing and with the Chuck E. Cheese, that's caught in 4K, right? So you do something stupid and you think nobody saw it.
Is that like saying I got it in high res?
High res, caught in 4K, that kind of stuff. You know what I'm talking about, kids. So if you hear a kid go, man, they caught that guy in 4K, you know exactly what it is. Caught in 4K, your urban word of the day.
That was the urban word of the day. Now you know.
We do know. People texting the program. Chad, why do you always take the liberal point of view against Trump? I didn't. I was just talking about, do you want to know why DC's a mess? The same reason all these other cities are a mess. Because you have woke, insane DAs who decide that everybody has been injured by colonialism and white people and, you know, the stuff, right? So they want to practice restorative justice. So they don't hold anybody accountable for anything. And even if there's a law in the book, they tend not to go and do anything with that law. But you're seeing across the country, Los Angeles being one where their DA, they got rid of Gascon. The guy up in San Francisco, they blew him out last year or 2 years ago. So, you know, Chesa Bodine was the DA, and they said, yeah, this isn't happening anymore. We want you gone. And they got rid of him. They got a new mayor, actually, that is actually enforcing stuff. And so, yeah, these woke, you know, no cash bail. Look, cash bail, if somebody is struggling and they've got some stupid thing that they shouldn't be locked up for, they're not a danger to society. Should they be locked up for a long time waiting to have their hearing? Or no, at some point in time we go, where's common sense? If you're wanted and this is your 12th arrest for attacking people, no, I don't think they should let you out. I think you got to pay some sort of bail. It's just common sense. That's what we should. Common sense policing. There's none of it anymore. I think we know that now. Coming up, hour number 2 of the program. More on who knows what. A lot of stuff. Gen Z and their insanity, which they didn't raise themselves. I want to remind everybody of that. Talk a little bit about that, as well as the Chuck E. Cheese thing, which is hilarious. Shame. That's all I got to say. Shame. Shame. Hour number 2 of the program straight ahead. This is the Chad Benson Show.
One o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. At least one person dead, dozens injured in a steel plant explosion outside of Pittsburgh. At least 2 people still unaccounted for. It is the U.S. Steel Clairton Coke Works plant, and the mayor there says the investigation is still in the very early stages.
No one knows what caused it, what the ignition source was. I did hear that there were some people that were injured, and it's just so unfortunate. I don't care if you broke a bone or you had a heart attack or you're in critical condition. It's all sad.
Some cookies sold at Target under recall. Favorite Day bakery frosted sugar cookies sold at Target stores in Tennessee, Kentucky, and 18 other states potentially contaminated with wood fragments. Do not eat the cookies. You can dispose of them or return them to Target for a full refund. And President Trump declaring a public safety emergency for Washington, D.C. today, ordering the city's police department under federal control, deploying the National Guard to, quote, liberate the Capitol.
It's becoming a situation of complete and total lawlessness. And we're getting rid of the slums, too. We have slums here. We're getting rid of them.
Trump saying there's going to be an overwhelming police presence where they're going to be focusing on gang members as well as known drug dealers. ABC's Perry Russum with more.
This is all in the face of some statistics we are getting from Metropolitan Police here in Washington showing that crime is actually improving. Crime overall down 7% this year compared to last year. Violent crime is down 26% this year compared to last year. Then property crime is down 5% this year compared to last year.
Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth saying we should see a National Guard presence in D.C. in the coming week. And President Trump says today he is considering whether to reclassify marijuana as a less dangerous drug and would decide, quote, in the next few weeks. The potential reclassification would move marijuana from its current federal classification as a Schedule I controlled substance to a Schedule III drug. Schedule I drugs are defined as having no accepted medical use and a high potential for abuse, while Schedule III drugs have a moderate to low potential for physical and psychological dependence and could change restrictions on buying and selling cannabis. Right now in Tennessee, with Senator Marsha Blackburn seeking the Tennessee governor's seat, there are questions about who would be appointed to take her place in the Senate. One of those candidates is 6th District Congressman Tim Burchett, who tells WTN's Dan Manda's show he'd be honored.
Sure, I want it. I would love the opportunity to be in the United States Senate. I think I've been fairly successful, and I think I could do the job.
Congressman Andy Ogle's also rumored to be interested in the seat. And that's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, Trump is deploying the troops. Pam Bondi's going to run it. So, guys, if you think that the Epstein things went well, wait do you see this?
It's going to be phase one.
Everybody who lives there is going to be invited to get a book. Do bad things, go to jail. We knew that. Okay. Wait till phase 2. Sorry, we don't have it.
We're going to skip to phase 3.
Which is nobody will know. Chad, you always take the liberal side. When did I take the liberal side?
Whenever you don't validate somebody's feelings.
What liberal side did I take? It's probably right, but still, what liberal side did I take? I've taken no liberal side. DC's done this to themselves. They have. It's like with immigration. You did that to yourselves, Democrats. And what happens is we're seeing when you don't do things the right way and you allow things to get out of hand, what happens? There's an overcorrection. And then it goes over here to one side, and then people go, oh, that's a little too much. And then it goes back over to the other side. And where's common sense?
Well, you know what the solution is?
What?
Legal weed.
Yeah,
legal weed.
That'll fix everything.
Legal weed. Well, they're going to do that. He's trying to figure out, okay, how do I do this without pissing everybody off?
Hey, well, he's floating that balloon. He's put it out there, and let's see where it goes.
It is. It's like, what do you do? He's like, how do I do this? Because we've been the party. And, you know, for all the people out there, Trump is far more of got a libertarian feel for a lot of stuff. He put people on the Supreme Court when it comes to abortion, but that was never like Trump's. It was a big deal for a lot of people, but it wasn't like Trump, like he lost sleep over it. We got to figure out how to get a bunch of people on. No. And even he's kind of walked that back. He's like, well, you know, what about this? And same thing with weed. I don't think Trump cares. He doesn't. And like anything, here's a perfect example of ridiculousness. So everybody goes, oh, I don't want it to smell like San Francisco, although you can't smell through all the poop and stuff on the ground, so it's hard to tell. A little mixture. But if you go to places like, you know, I've heard a lot of this about Colorado. It smells like weed. It was never meant for you guys to want it to do that, to do it everywhere all the time. That's the thing. It's funny, smoking was one of those weird things where eventually smoking was kind of like gauche. You just didn't do it out in the public. So they'd have an area and you'd go over and smoke. People, though, once they made weed legal, people just walking around, it's like a reggae concert. No, that's not what you're about. It's, hey, look, guys, it's going to be just like you can't drink outdoors. You can't be wandering around unless you're homeless, drinking. Just, hey, guys, what's going on? I got a drink. I saw a old report. I think it was like NBC from like the 80s. These guys are cracking beers in their truck, and they're like, they better not tell us we can't drink in our trucks no more. I was laughing.
Give it 5 minutes. Somebody from Mad wants to talk to you.
Yeah. So it's crazy. But like anything, just don't be an idiot. Common sense. DC's in this because they don't use common sense. You've got laws in the books, you don't enforce them. You got laws in the books and you ignore them. You got laws in the books and you're at the point now where you're completely understaffed, outmanned, out everything, and you just give up. Nobody wants to be a cop anymore. Can you blame them? I was watching an interesting conversation between police officer and was one as a podcaster. He was talking about the fact that there's a perfect example of like California, LA, supposed to have God knows how many cops, 15,000. They had like 6,000 or 8,000 cops. Nobody wants to be a cop. Recruiting them is insane. When I was in Arizona, my buddy, he was tasked with the job, I'll see if we can get him on this week, of trying to keep recruits and police officers from quitting. He goes, you get these people all the way through, and then they're like, I don't want to do this after, they go on a ride-along and actually get out there for a couple months. They're like, I don't want to do it. And he was talking about nobody wants to do these gigs anymore because they feel like not only are they at risk for danger, they're also at risk for feeling like they're always going to be sued and nobody's going to back them up, which sucks. I'm sure some of you listen to police officers. Yeah, it's not worth it anymore. It's like, they got a camera. I don't want to be seen as the bad guy.
Yeah, it seems like you've got to walk such a fine line.
Yeah.
And it's actually, it has gotten to a point where a police officer's job is more dangerous because of just kind of the shift in society that it happened during during COVID and after the Minnesota guy. I can't remember his name.
Floyd.
Yeah, George Floyd.
Yeah.
That anything you do as a cop, you've constantly got a phone on you recording you
all the time.
Why do you want to put up with that? Put your life at risk every day for that?
Because somebody shoots 30 seconds of something that was a 15-minute thing.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you're all over the news as the worst person on earth.
Right.
You're a racist. You're against your culture. Whatever it is, you're sued. Everybody's after you. You face going to jail because the pressure on the DA and everybody's mounting. And you didn't get the whole thing.
Right.
We cut a moment in time. And even if eventually everything comes out, it doesn't matter. Everything is destroyed for you. Everything is. So being a cop, it's a thankless gig. These guys work their asses off for what? For what? I'm curious. Like that Mamdani guy in New York, his thing is like defund the police.
Yeah.
Great. How about this? Everybody who wants the police defunded, raise your hand. Now, if something bad happens, they're going to send a counselor. Even if a guy's got a machete and he's hacking you up, that way maybe he can talk you out of it. And on the other side of it, if you want the police, hey, guess who shows up in a situation like that? Somebody underpaid and overworked. So, and it's like a shark attack too. There are how many instances where humans come together with police of all races, of all makes and models, and there'll be 8 to 10 different things throughout the year where people lose their mind because it is shown in such a way that makes the cops look horrible. And it's not to say that cops can't be. I think we recognize that.
Sure, there's bad apples in the cart.
There's bad apples everywhere. Everything. It's like with teachers. Oh, no. No, there's bad teachers. I have news for you. Just like there's bad doctors, which is really not good. Bad pilots? You don't want that at all.
Yeah, that's very little room for error.
Yeah. So when it comes to this, though, do I understand why people are frustrated? Yes. But this has to do with the fact that you also have to have a working relationship with the city councils and the DAs. And in many of these cases, in the big cities, they don't. The DAs and city councils and mayors are all to the left. And so everything is deemed evil, racist, and bad. And so there you go. Because you have, it's like with immigration. Trump didn't do anything magical. He's like, oh, let's put the remain in Mexico back there. So if you try to come across, turn around and put you back. That's it. Pretty simple. That was it. Biden's all, I need $50 gazillion to fix it. No. Enforce the laws that are on the books. And if you don't like those laws, then change them. But ignoring them is ridiculous. And that's what happens in too many of these places. No cash bail for everybody. Well, that's silly. Do I think some people are stuck in a situation where they're close to broke all the time? They got nothing and they get picked on some stupid warrant that they've had for a while. Next thing you know, they're sitting in jail for months and months. They lose everything they have because they couldn't afford bail. That's ridiculous. I don't think anybody wants that, even some of you listening. But at the same time, do I think that if you're wanted on your 12th aggravated assault in the subway of New York for trying to light people on fire? Did you see that guy playing the cello the other day? He's playing the cello. People are filming him. Some dude walks up, picks up something, and just smashes his head.
Good grief.
And that person looked like somebody who was actually a writer. Not a homeless person, but somebody who's just kind of somebody going to work or school. Smashes him in the head.
Mm.
If they caught that guy, what happens? Oh, they'll let him out in 5 minutes. There's the insanity of it all. That's it. Don't be hitting the cello guy in the head. That's not very nice.
Yeah, cello's good music.
It is. Was it Yo-Yo Ma?
Yes.
Yeah, your ma, my ma, all ma. I'll tell you that right now.
Yo Ma.
Yo-Yo Ma, what's up? Just, it's not hard. But common sense has eluded everybody in politics over the last umpteen years. It's now about making the most noise and saying ridiculous things and not getting a lot of stuff done. So Trump is forced to go in there and he's going to all right, we're going to put these guys out there and see what happens. And we'll see. I think the FBI's getting involved too. Did you see that?
Yeah, it's pretty much all law enforcement level federal agencies are involved. ATF, FBI, DEA, they're all going to be involved.
How thrilled do you think the FBI is? Hey, guys, come here. Remember that time that you guys got to learn how to do traffic tickets? Oh, yeah.
Told you it'd pay off.
Yeah. And somebody said, well, why? What's the difference between all of these things? Well, one is police have a different set of rules than the FBI. That's not really their jam, is traffic stops. Because that was one of the questions they were being asked. Traffic stops? You guys can make traffic stops? If you want to stop things, pick the 5 to 7 areas that are a problem, over police it there. It's a simple thing. Police the hell out of it there. Because those people that live in that area, 99% of them don't want the crap that's going on. They don't want the shootings. They don't want the muggings. They don't want any of that. And D.C. is, yeah, I mean, it's one of those places. It has definitely changed a little bit, but it's always been kind of that way in certain areas. Just like New York in the 70s and 80s. You guys ever watch old shows or movies and they show New York and it's like the grossest place ever? It was never sunny. It was always dingy. The buildings had no windows. Everything was falling apart. Everybody got mugged. That's how we got Death Wish. With what's his name?
Charles Bronson.
Charles Bronson, the Canadian Machine. How's it going, eh? He was awesome.
What are you doing?
Yeah. He was on like his 48th Death Wish movie.
Yeah, how many? I think they had 5 of those.
Oh, it was awesome.
And like I think the last one, he was actually...
He was like in space?
Yeah, he was using rocket launchers and things like that to take out rapists and drug dealers.
Yeah. But that's what New York was like. New York was, it was pretty nasty back then. And it's gotten that way now. But now we just don't, even if they arrest people, they throw them out in 5 seconds. There's no room at the inn. I think it's a good way to describe it. Coming up, talk a little bit about Russia. Got some great stories. This story about what this lady did you wonder, right? Just how did you, what was that moment in time you're like, this is going to be a good idea? Like this right here is going to be a solid, I'm doing this and you can't stop me. And the kids and your family are like, go for it. I think this is going to be great. So we'll talk about that as well as a bunch of other stuff still to come on this fun day. We also have some interesting Gen Z stuff, including the fact that they're bringing their parents to the job interview. People are like, that doesn't happen.
Not just driving them there,
not
but
just
taking
driving
them into the interview.
Yeah, into the interview. Not just driving them, but like, hey, my mom and dad want to be a part of this. Okay. We'll talk about that as well. If you're missing the show, shame on you. Tweet at us. Text the program. If you're going to tweet at Chad Benson Show. You want to text?
615-737-9986.
All right. Chad Benson Show. Super Talk 997. Raycon, best earbuds around. You will love your Raycons. They are incredible. So these are the old Raycons. By old, I mean they're the classics, the original, the OG. The first thing that they put together were these Raycons. They're called the E25s. And when I mean classics, I've got a look and a feel that's cool and classic, different than the everyday earbuds that I wear all the time. These E25s are amazing. And the sound quality is second to none. They've got active noise cancellation, 8 hours talk time, 32 hours of battery life, fast charging, all of that stuff. They've brought it up to what it has become because they advanced so far, but these things stayed the same, and now they have made it that and then some. If you like me and you love audio and you want to listen to great podcasts and music and you're always doing stuff, these things won't hurt your ears. They give you the best sound around, and they're not going to break the bank. You're going to save 20%. They start about half the price of other premium audio brands. Get your Raycons now. Go to buyraycon.com/Chad. When you do, save 20% and free shipping. Boom. 30-day happiness guarantee. Buyraycon.com/Chad. Buyraycon.com/Chad. The Wellness Institute of Nashville wants to make you feel good. Get that back on track. Go to painisbad.com or call 615-246-5009. Why, Chad? Because Big Daddy Trump special, $12, comprehensive exam, x-rays if needed, and, well, they're going to explain the diagnosis on your first treatment, get you up and running, put together a plan to get you back out there. It is the right thing to do. Man, don't get frustrated and think, oh, you know what, I'm just over this and I'm going to go get cert. Don't do that. If you've tried everything else, go to the Wellness, and they'll fix you up. I'm serious. Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley. It's not just their brilliant brains and all of the stuff they've done and how much knowledge they have. It's also about the technology they've brought along with it. No surgery, no spinal injections, no painkillers. Whether you have got issues with your knee, right, slip bulging disc, spinal disc, herniated disc, spinal stenosis, you name it, they can get you up and running and moving. It's about what's right for you, not the cookie-cutter solution. Call them today, 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009, or go to painisbad.com.
At least one dead, several injured, 2 missing in a Pennsylvania steel plant explosion. And a huge EV investment will mean thousands of new jobs in Kentucky and Michigan. All this and more coming up at 1:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I've never taken one time in the history of anything the right on anything when it comes to politics. Never heard him say it. I've taken a lot of stuff on the right and left when it comes to issues. You know, it's called critical thinking. It's pretty crazy. Back in the 80s, we used to do that. We'd like, okay, tell me what the issue is, and then I'll make a decision. Nowadays, it's tell me what's the number. Is it an R or D? Are they red or blue? Then I'll tell you how I feel. We don't do that here. It's all about critical thinking.
That's the truth, too. It's like, just tell me what the other guy thinks, and if he's on my team, then I'll believe what he says.
Yeah. And I've come to, you know, it's interesting because I do look out there, and I just want the truth. Some people don't want that. Some people will take the truth, and they'll bend it. I mean, and that's the sad thing when you've got, you know, facts and data. Here's all that stuff. It's only as good as it can be, depending on who's delivering it. And Ken and I talk about this all the time. The amount of work you have to do nowadays to find out what exactly is going on. It's hard. I got to go over here. Now I got to go over here. Then I got to go over here. And what about here? And then about this. And then about this.
Constant cross-referencing.
Yeah. And even then, you're like, is this right? Is this?
And the GOP does not deserve blanket consideration as everything being the truth. The prime example being they don't cut the budget when they're in power.
100% right there.
They've never taken a single red cent from the debt.
Yeah, they promise you they're going to. And they're there to fix the problem of overspending, and they're not. They're not. They don't do that at all. They've spent more. It's both sides spend. It's just where do you want them to spend? Where do you want me to overspend? Do you want me to overspend over here with rockets and stuff like that? Or do you want me to overspend over here with USAID because we're going to make puppets for trans people in Peru? Which is weird. Do you think people sit around and go, I'm going to come up with the craziest crap you've ever heard of and see if they'll give you $500,000?
Yes.
They're like, can you believe they did it? They did it. Wow. That's crazy. They did. They gave me $500,000. Now I got to come up with some weird puppet.
All I had to do was buy some socks.
With googly eyes. Hey, everybody. It's me, Cindy.
Which is funny because the people in Peru could have done the same thing without the grant, really.
They could have. They could have.
Me, Cindy.
It's me, Cindy. How you guys doing? I used to be a dude, but now I'm a woman.
I used to be a glove. Now I'm a sock.
I identify as a pair of pants.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Oh, my Lord. No, it depends on what it is, man. That's what you guys should all do. Even, you know who got fooled last week? Chris Cuomo. There was an AOC video out there. Oh, yeah. And he got super fooled by it. And he even came on and said, like, I got fooled by this thing.
What was the video of?
Yeah.
Was it AI?
No, it was like something about communism or Mom Donnie or some weird thing like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
But she never said it, and it looked like it. It looked real, but I don't. Even last week when Trump was on the roof, I'm like, go check that 50 places, right?
That's right.
If C-SPAN has it, then I'm going with it. If they don't have it, it never happened.
Yeah, I think C-SPAN just has cameras up in the nation's capital, and it's just constant.
Yes.
Just you can just like see a street corner.
That's
near the Capitol.
So we can see who gets mugged.
Right.
Oh my!
So what was he doing on the roof? Just looking around?
He was surveying where construction will be for this new gallery or this ballroom. He's planning.
Which, by the way, why does it cost $200 million for a ballroom? Does anybody tell me why it's $200 million? For,
Maybe
the walls are made of gold.
Yeah, maybe it's a really big chandelier involved.
Like, if a tent is what they've used to holding in one of those big tents that are, massive, and they're not like a cheesy tent you buy somewhere and that you go sleep out on the weekend that the bear's going to eat you in. If that's good enough for being kind of a ballroom-ish, and they needed a ballroom for years. I've heard both right and left say, look, the East Wing is not, we need something bigger. $200 million just seems a little spendy. And we're mad at old Powell for spending $18 billion on Italian marble.
Well, if it's true that he's putting some of his own money in and getting investors, I don't really have a problem with that as long as there's no taxpayer money involved.
Yeah,
but I find it hard to believe there's not going to be any taxpayer money involved.
Yeah. One thing I know, it can't be attached to the actual White House. It's one of the things it can't be. So there's got to be a separation between the White House and the ballroom.
Yeah, I think up there on the roof, he said that he was donating, like this is what he's putting his presidential salary to.
Okay.
Like when the checks come in, he's just putting it to construction.
Here's $4,800. What's that do for you guys? Sally said, golden walls and toilets have to be gold too.
They're all bidets.
They're all bidets. Golden bidets is fantastic. You guys are going to love it. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. Speaking of loving it, what did this person do at a Chuck E. Cheese? We've got some Gen Z insanity as well, and their parents. We'll talk a bit about that as well. If you missed any show, shame on you. Grab the podcast. It is the Chad Benson Show. Super Talk 99.7.
$1:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. At least one person killed, several injured, 2 people missing in a steel plant explosion in Pennsylvania. These people heard it.
It sounded like a really big bang. At first you don't think of nothing because they thought it was the train cars because I live right there as the tracks.
Now, rescue crews there at the U.S. Steel Clairton Coke Works plant. There in Clairton, Mayor Richard Latanzi.
My message to the public is just pray for these people and their family. There's no time there to be pointing fingers and all that. Let's just pray for a good outcome.
Yeah, the Allegheny Health Department on the site monitoring air quality. Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives also responding. Huge economic news for Kentucky and Michigan today. Ford says it will invest nearly $2 billion to modernize its Louisville assembly plant, part of an overall $5 billion investment in EV production. $3 billion will go to construct a new battery plant in Michigan. The investment expected to create or secure approximately 4,000 jobs between the Louisville and Michigan facilities while strengthening the domestic supply chain for EV components. And right now in our nation's capital, President Trump announcing today he's put Washington, D.C.'s police department under federal control, deployed the National Guard to, quote, essentially stop violent crime in Washington, D.C. that he claims has been widespread and has put the city in a state of squalor, leading to his declaration today.
What you need is rules and regulations, and you need the right people to implement them. And we have the right people here, that I can tell you.
Trump also is suggesting a new push to eliminate no cash bail, saying it's time for his administration to crack down on violent criminals. Here in Tennessee, no more DEI hires at Nashville International Airport. The Tennessean reports a 2-decade-old program that targeted small, minority, and women-owned businesses for hiring has ended. An airport spokesperson says BNA has complied with President Trump's anti-DEA executive order so the airport could keep getting its federal funding. Now the airport says it'll use a small business program that is described as race and gender neutral to fill airport contracts. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
thinner. Everybody wants to be thinner. Everybody wants to lose those extra inches. And you're trying everything, right? You bought all the machines. You're on the TikTok shop and you're doing the crunches and you're doing all, and it's not working. It's not. But you know what is? Contours. Contours will get rid of those inches. It'll melt away with contours. Now, why? Because technology. It literally melts away the inches. In fact, you're guaranteed to lose 2 inches on your first treatment. It's $99 or you don't pay a thing. It's that simple. And we all could use a little help. And trust me, I've lost several inches and I love this. You can lose body fat, so much more. It's the Ultra Slim Body Contouring that guarantees those 2 inches are going to be gone and more as you progress through this. So what are you going to do? You're going to call today and say, Chad told me to call. I want to lose inches. I'm sick of not fitting in the jeans I like or the pants I like or not looking good. These love handles suck. What can I do? Contours has you covered. Call 615-236-9960, 615-236-9960. And remember, guaranteed to lose 2 inches or you don't pay anything. 615-236-9960 or visit contoursllc.com to schedule. Chuck E. Cheese, where it's fun to be a kid, or whatever it's called. Nothing says good pizza like a rat.
I always liked their pizza.
The pizza's actually pretty good. Of course, for years there was that like urban legend that any pizza that wasn't eaten, they'd take it back and they'd put it onto the other things. That
well, there were some franchises that were caught doing that.
Urban legend, though. They made it seem like that was part of their policy.
Right, when it wasn't. It was just some rogue franchise. Trying to save some money.
We don't like rogue. So a woman, stop me if you guys heard this one before, goes into a Chuck E. Cheese with family. Not a child, but a woman playing a game and decided, you know what? I really want that prize. And I'm going to go in there and get it. Go into the game? Yes, go into the game.
Maybe you've heard of people getting stuck on a favorite arcade game, but one young lady at this Chuck E. Cheese in Burbank found out the hard way you can also get stuck in one as well. And if that happens, you can expect plenty of people with cell phones around to capture it. This was posted to the Citizen app. Around 3 p.m. Thursday, a still unidentified woman inside the snow day game console on her knees, her right hand stuck in a hole.
With Gemini
Burbank
and Google
firefighters
Meet,
took 22
AI
minutes to
captures
free
it.
her.
So I just want you guys to know that this woman went in to get a prize. She tried to get inside of the thing, and she's an idiot. And of course, what do you think happens in today's world? Everybody, before you call the police, well, let them do it. I'm taking out my phone to make sure that everybody knows you're an idiot, and we're going to film you. She is stuck in there with her arm. What the hell?
And everybody's just filming her.
Yeah, that's it. Nobody's trying to help her because you're stupid. You're stupid.
So how did this happen? Good question, but the answer is not that clear. We did, however, find some social media clips showing how the game is supposed to be played. You get inside the little chamber, small colored balls drop down on you from the ceiling, and while you race a timer, you put as many of those balls into that hole as you can. We don't know if she dropped something in there or if she was reaching for one of the balls, but her arm was not budging.
Would you try the game?
Well, yeah, if it's working.
We bumped into Mario Navarez coming out of Chuck E. Cheese this afternoon, and we showed him the video.
But I'm not going to stick my hand in that hole.
Because you're not an idiot. She stayed around even after they all came to get her out. It took them like 20 minutes to get her out. How do you live? Do you ever meet people and go, how do you survive? Like, what's a day? Everything.
Or at least at the very minimum, look at them and go, how do you not fall down more?
Yeah, but like you look at people and you go, how do you get through a day? Because everything that you do, you make look harder than it should be. Everything you do is a problem. You can't even go to Chuck E. Cheese with your kid. I expect this from a 4-year-old. I don't expect this from an adult. That's an adult, not somebody who's special needs, a regular old adult. And you're going to be forever known as what? The idiot got their arm stuck in Chuck E. Cheese. That's what you're known as. Every day I think, how do people make it? I talk to them. I do. I walk by, I'll go somewhere, and the stare. Nobody says hi anymore. And even if they do, they're terrified. We're living in weird times. Speaking of weird times, we talked about this before, and I got no way that's ever happened from a lot of people on the text line. Well, I'm here to tell you, it's happened.
We've heard of take your kid to work day. It used to be take your daughter to work day. Now it's take your child to work day. But how about taking your parents to your job interview? Have you heard of this one? Would you do it? Would you want your kids to do it? A new study revealing over 70% of Gen Z job seekers have brought a parent to an interview. And get this, over 50% say their parents spoke with a hiring manager on their behalf.
I want you guys 50%. So 70% brings mom or dad to a job interview. 70%.
70%?
Yes. And then mom or dad, at the rate of 50% of that, will speak to a hiring manager.
Oh, my.
I don't even want my people I work with to know I have a mom. I remember, so my uncle lived a very sheltered life. He doesn't anymore. But my grandmother was very much 1980s religious grandma. I heard Dave Bargatze talk about that, like the worst time of religious parents were that. And when they finished World of Warcraft, so we're over there, we're having a huge party. I was over there with them. We're having a massive, and I mean a massive, because they just got it out. It might have been StarCraft, World of Warcraft, when they was making video games for Blizzard. 2:30 in the morning. My grandmother shows up with my grandpa and their little dog at work to see if he's okay, because they hadn't heard from him. I'm like, I came up to him, dude, grandma's downstairs. He's like, what? I said, yeah. He's like, go tell her. And he comes down. He goes, if anybody sees you here, I'm going to have to quit this job. I can never come here again. I can never show my face. You need to leave now. Now, parents are actively going with their kids to their job interviews. And these are job interviews for, like, you know, maybe you take your kid to the first job interview. Maybe they don't drive. Okay, that's okay. You know, you're going to go get a job at a McDonald's or something like that. You need a lift. Okay. This is not that. These are adults who have graduated college, and mom and dad have to go with them.
Yeah, this statistic was really staggering when I saw this. Now, this is extending from help with resumes, proofreading resumes, landing interviews, helping with the job search, and yes, actually calling managers when there's an issue at the office. I think this is all part of Gen Z has grown up in basically a frictionless world. They have apps for dating. They have apps for food delivery. They don't need to learn how to drive. They can take an Uber. Thus, this is spilling over into the job market, and we're seeing the parental involvement being very, very high.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say at that point. Could you imagine going, like, you've got adult kids. Could you imagine said, Dad, could you take me to work and talk to my hiring manager?
I want you to know my boy is a top-notch human being, sir. You
taught him
hire my
everything he
boy.
knows.
He'll be working hard for you.
Now, how much you going to pay him?
Well, how about we skip your son and just hire you?
Yeah, what do I need? Yeah, let's go straight to the thing.
Here's my personal phone number. He gives you any issue, you let me know.
I've also got an answering machine. I mean, I don't even, what do you say to, because if I'm somewhere and I'm a hiring manager and you show up with mom and dad, and I look out there and I see mom and dad in the waiting room. I can't hire you. How could I? Because I also know this. You're not going to feel good one day. Mom and dad are going to make that phone call.
Yeah. Send you back to work with a note.
I mean, that right. Could you see that? Because I've heard that too. That's a big deal, especially in college, where their kid may be sick, and they'll call in and say, little Johnny, who's 6'3" and 220 pounds, each out of house and home, little Johnny, he can't make it in today because he doesn't feel well. I would be flabbergasted.
You know, I've had some horrific interviews in my time, but they also were really valuable because they taught me what not to do in an interview, and they taught me how to be a better interviewer. And I would just be mortified if a family member was there trying to coach me on it or something during the process.
Yeah, I don't even. We've taken that away from the kids. Somebody said, well, I agree. We didn't raise them. I mean, they raised themselves. No, wait, we did raise them. Not me, because my kids aren't old enough to have jobs yet. But they didn't raise themselves, right? Boomer parents, even some Gen Xers. This world that we live in now, where we've gone from even the helicopter parent to the bulldozer parent. And like you said, Belle, how mortified would you be? I was mortified when my mom would show up at parent-teacher conference because she was an awful dresser. I couldn't even imagine her showing up at anything like this at all. And we're not talking about a 16-year-old going for the first job where mom and dad are going to drop you off. Even then, how many of you listening right now, you're like, Mom, Dad, drop me off a block from school. I don't want to be seen with you. Now it's like, can you guys come in with me? And they may ask me some tough questions, so you guys hold my hand.
Here's my mom and dad, teacher.
Yeah. And the other thing they talk about is the fear to interact at all. And I see this every day. I walk home, as I do. It's like, walk here. Anybody over the age of 40 will say hi to me. Anybody in their millennials, but mostly the younger in their 20s, they look straight as if they're zombies and refuse to make eye contact with anybody.
They won't say a thing.
No, and if you say hi to them, they may fall over. And I'm like, hi.
They're like one of those goats that just has narcolepsy and falls over when they get scared.
What are those? The pygmy goats or whatever those things are.
Yeah.
The fainting goats. I'm fascinated by this bizarre world where you want mom and dad, because mom and dad did a lot of this for you. And the other thing is they talk about the Gen Z stare. And for younger kids, more Gen Alpha, I see a bit of issue because especially when they were younger and those first 2 or 3 years, depending on where you lived, where you had to wear a mask for everything, that maybe they didn't understand certain cues. But
yeah, good point.
But we're talking, pre-K, kindergarten. We're not talking somebody who was in 11th grade and has now graduated college. Mom has to come to, to work with you so you can get a job because you don't understand facial cues. Oh, my Lord. My mom was a bad dresser, though.
A bad dresser.
She was. I'm like, oh, my mom's coming tonight. It's awful. Somebody says, I'm 40. I've been trying to get a job with the school system for the last 8 months. I've been mortified. I'd be mortified to bring my parents with me. Oh, my goodness me. That would be, I couldn't even imagine that.
The only reason to ever take a parent to work is if your family is just exceptionally rich and your father can sit there and go, look, if you don't hire him, I'm going to buy your company and fire you.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want that.
The one thing that just stands out about taking your parents to a job interview, the hiring manager is going to look at that and he's going to see the word drama just in big red letters flashing.
It's like
drama.
It's like, what's it called? When you get the resumes and they've got the they, thems and all that kind of stuff over there, automatically you throw it away.
Nope.
Why? Because it's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Yep.
That's it.
Nope.
I see mom and dad making phone calls for you here. I see me giving you, hey, you're not doing it right. You go home and mom and dad say you've been treated wrong and either call me or they tell you to quit.
We should have thought about this in advance, but we could have gotten Paul in here, our boss, to ask him what he would do if somebody tried to bring their parents into an interview with him.
I wouldn't even I couldn't even imagine that. I couldn't even imagine that at all. If a parent came with somebody that I was interviewing for they come, hey, I'm interviewing for your job. Hey, you don't mind if my mom sits in? Oh, yeah, I do mind. Well, hold on, what's your mom look like? Oh, I totally mind. Not very nice today. You're hired. Oh.
Is she single? Yeah. Well, you're promoted.
You're promoted hire. This is it, kids. This is it. Somebody said, just think they're going to be voting. They'll be voting maybe they're probably voting now, voting next year. As long as mom and dad can take them to the bowls.
Show them how to use the machine.
I don't want to go in there. Don't look at me. If you miss the show, shame on you. Grab the podcast.
Shame.
Shame. Chad Benson Show. Super Talk 997. Rough Greens, ruffgreens.com/Chad. Vitamins, minerals, probiotics, omega-369. You hear me talk about it all the time. It is fuel for your dog. It's fuel for your dog. So think about this. Every morning you wake up, give your dog, throw their food in there, and the way they go, they eat it. But what are they getting? Dog food is dead food. This right here, Rough Greens, it's got living nutrients in it. It's going to help bring your dog's food to life, and it is fuel for your dog, which is awesome. And I tell you what, it's simple and easy. It's 1 scoop a day. That's it. It's going to help with their aches and pains in the joints, their digestive tract, their energy level, their skin, their coat, as well as things like their immune system and heart health. But you're going to see a marked improvement. And just like we reach for an energy drink or coffee, oh, don't talk to me before I get my coffee. Same things with the dogs. They're going to love this. It's going to fuel them throughout the day, and they're going to feel better. The best #1 supplement for dogs nationwide is Rough Greens. I want you to try a $20 Jumpstart trial bag for free. All they ask you to do is cover the cost of shipping. ruffgreens.com/Chad. ruffgreens.com/Chad.
We're learning more about a deadly steel plant explosion near Pittsburgh today. Also, a big electric vehicle announcement by Ford Motor Company today impacting Kentucky and Michigan and possibly the entire United States when it comes to affordable models. We'll tell you about it at 2 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Is it BYD? You guys don't know what BYD is. That is the Tesla of China. Man, it blows Tesla away.
Really?
It does. It's incredible.
Got air conditioning?
It does. It does all kinds of air conditioning. All over the car, too, not just in like one area.
That's all King cares about is the air conditioning.
Like got it in the front, it's got it in the back.
Yeah.
And it is, BYD, if you guys have never seen, go look at them. And the affordability of those things in China is massive. And once they really start shipping them, the battle is Tesla's.
Do you know what the equivalent price is in U.S. dollars?
Yeah. So BYD's it's an automotive company over there. And obviously they stole a lot of stuff from the.
No, China doesn't do that.
And it's about, it's probably about a third.
Oh, wow.
You know, I mean, you're gonna save about a third. So like they're high cost. If you can even get I think they do some gas ones as well, but the
hybrids.
If you get the hybrids and the electric, I mean, they're super, super cheap comparatively, and they're incredible. And that's why, I mean, I know they've got some. They're trying to bring some of them over here. I don't know if they've been released yet or when it's going to happen. They're going to have a pilot program. But tell you what, if I'm Elon, I make sure that things stay away from here. Because here's this. Okay, right now, these are their big models: 36,500, 40,000, and then 31,400. And their ranges are pretty damn far, and they charge super fast. And most importantly, their their automated driver thing is really good. So is it, I mean, Teslas are awesome, but they're super expensive. I mean, you can get some okay ones, but they're kind of expensive. They're great cars. But this is going to be a battle here. Coming up, hour number 3 of the program. A lot of stuff to get to. Wait till you hear what, it's not White Woman Wednesday, but you're going to want to hear this. We'll talk a bit about this, among other things. If you're missing the show, shame on you. Grab the podcast. Shame. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997.
Two o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We've got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. We're learning more about a deadly steel plant explosion near Pittsburgh today. Here's ABC's Jacqueline Lee.
We know one person has died. 2 people are unaccounted for, and there are dozens and dozens of first responders on the scene. We also know that there are people in the hospital. Many have non-life-threatening injuries right now, but this is all evolving.
Happened about 15 miles outside Pittsburgh in an area called Clairton. Big electric vehicle announcement from Ford Motor Company today impacting Kentucky and Michigan. Ford dedicating approximately $2 billion to modernize its Louisville assembly plant in Kentucky and an additional $3 billion to construct a new battery plant in Michigan, creating at least 4,000 jobs between the two. It's a move which Ford says will lower the price point for EVs, a new affordable model starting at $30,000. Right now in our nation's capital, President Trump says he will announce a decision on marijuana in the coming weeks. He is considering reclassifying marijuana as a less dangerous drug from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3, which could significantly ease restrictions on buying and selling cannabis. President Trump says there's a new sheriff in our nation's capital, so to speak. Louis Martinez says President Trump declaring a public safety emergency for Washington, D.C. today, ordering the city's police department under federal control.
President Trump talking about 800 D.C. National Guardsmen who Secretary Hegseth said will be out on the streets by the end of the week. We are talking about, that's a third of the size of the D.C. National Guard. Now, what's different with the D.C. National Guard is that, unlike other states, it is not called up by the governor. In the District of Columbia, one would think that the mayor would have that responsibility, but it is not. It is actually the President of the United States, in this case Donald Trump, who has the authority to call up the National Guard within the district for whatever purpose, and that's what he's done here now.
Now, Tennessee 6th District Congressman Tim Burchett telling WTN's Dan Mandis show what he thinks about Trump's move.
When you pull off your nation's capital, you don't like to see a shopping cart in the middle and a tent right there and just garbage everywhere. He's taking back over. That's why we got a real leader at Pennsylvania Avenue right now.
In an age of nearly universal Wi-Fi and super-fast broadband, it's hard to imagine a time when connecting to the internet took some time and effort. ABC's Jim Ryan says a cultural waypoint on the road to our current technology is going away.
For Americans of a certain age, the blast from the past has the unmistakable squawk, squelch, and squeal of a dial-up internet connection. The Census Bureau says that at last count, 163,000 American households were still using only dial-up. After more than 4 decades, AOL is discontinuing its dial-up service on September 30th, along with supporting software. Subscribers will still have the option of AOL's friendly announcement. You've got mail. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
And that's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
So, weed may be decriminalized and dropped down to a nothing burger. Oh, man, you always want a nothing burger afterwards. I'll tell you that right now.
Gives you nothing burger with cheese, to be precise.
Yeah, man, hit me with the cheese. So, that's going to be interesting, which will be, I don't know how that people would react here. We've got to ask Blackburn, how would you react to that? What would you think to that? John Rose, how would you react to that? Do you need to find out what the pharmacy say? Who do you think's going to be, if we know she's going to win. I mean, she may not, but she probably will. If I had to put money on, if somebody came to me today and say, you got to put absolute money on this, I'm like, all right, my money's going on her.
I think John's going to be able to give her a good run.
I think he's going to surprise. I think he will. I think he'll surprise, but needs to. Tell you what, that interview with Chris and the weed thing, that is put him a little sideways. There's no doubt about that.
Yes,
but
and I guarantee you, Marcia took note of that and will probably try to avoid the subject altogether.
Well, we won't let her because that's all we have you on here for, man. We don't care. We're going to have her on Weed Wednesday.
Weed Wednesday.
So everybody's trying to figure out, okay, so she wins. Like, these are all ifs. Who replaces her? Is it Kane? That's what everybody thinks?
No, I think it'd be Burchett.
No, I think a lot of people think it's going to be Kane. It's going to be
Burchett's
Glenn.
lobbying for it, though.
He is. Everybody's lobbying for it, but Trump can't afford.
And you also have to remember that is it Greg? What's his real name?
Glenn Jacobs.
Yeah.
Glenn literally stepped back so he didn't interfere with Marcia's run because he was going to run for governor until he found out she wanted to, and then he said, I yield.
Remember where they are right now when it comes to the seats in the House, I don't think they want to risk any of that stuff. And
that's a good point.
So, I mean, I've heard...
Well, if he appointed Burchett to the Senate before the special election, would he not then appoint somebody to...
No, I don't know how that works here. Every state's got a different way of doing it. I'm not quite sure, but I think they're looking at him and saying, all right, he is... This doesn't upset the apple cart in the House, and Trump can't afford that right now because he's got a tiebreaker with Vance, and he's got a slim lead, and the Senate is more than likely going to stay in control over there in the with the Republicans because the Democrats have to defend a little bit more. But when it comes to the House, it's going to be close, and yeah, I think they're going to look outside of somebody. Remember what they did with what's her name? Was it Stefanik? She wanted to be. They were going to put her in the UN. And then they pulled her back because it was too close. So you put Kane in there. We'll have to ask Kane, how do you feel about weed? You may be the senator. How cool is that, though? 7-foot senator. You were in the movie. You were not one, but two movies called Hear No Evil, See No Evil, whatever it was called.
You go against his bill, he'll put the choke slam on you.
That's right. So that'll be an interesting thing, but I think that's who they're going to go. I don't think they're going to look at all. They're going to look outside of anything that has to do with the House. They can't mess with it.
Yeah, I mean, even though another Republican would probably be elected there in Burchett's area, you wouldn't want to risk it.
No, you can't. Not at this point in time.
Like you said, it is razor thin, man.
You can't at this point in time risk anything. And Burchett is. And look, if your choice is a House member, just in a Congress member, or being a senator, senators, they've got more power, they're around longer, they can influence more. Plus, in the way that we live our world now, Congress is more apt to have more swings in extremes. The Senate doesn't. They don't have to worry as much. They're not running every other day. Yeah, they're raising money and they're still doing their stuff, but if they vote against something today and people get upset with them, they're not up for 5 years. You ain't got anything to worry about. You're not worried about that. You're not. And that's why being a senator, I think, would be an interesting thing.
I just wonder how much of an issue it would be because Glenn is very libertarian and does not. He would not vote the Republican. He wouldn't toe the line.
Well, then I know here he's going to be called a liberal like me.
Oh,
probably NPR. So I get called all the time.
You get called what?
NPR. At least twice a day. Listen here, NPR. So, that would be interesting. I mean, that would be crazy. And think about this. Think about how. Nobody could beat us in wrestling. Like if we had the Senate wrestling match, who's going to win? Nobody. He'll crush their souls.
Oh.
Mitch McConnell, you don't like weed? He'll put you in a headlock.
It is pretty funny how he played such a dark character, but he's such a nice guy.
Such a nice guy. He's like, hi. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I think that's, I've heard that's, and as much as Burchett, and I know Burchett wants it, right? Well, why wouldn't you want it though, man? It's so much cooler. Being a senator being a House member is pretty cool, There's a difference, though, between being a prince or a princess and being a duke or a duchess. There's something a little bit cooler about that. I mean, for lack of a better term, that's kind of what they see themselves as. But he is very libertarian. I was reading a lot of stuff about him. In between crushing souls with The Undertaker.
Remember The Undertaker's little partner, Paul Bearer?
Yeah.
I love
What
it,
a
man.
terrible name.
I freaking loved it. Paul Bearer.
Oh, goodness me. This would be awesome.
I remember meeting him at a Motley Crue show one time.
Somebody said Fetterman would be a tough opponent. Now he'd take out Fetterman. This guy's, he's 7 foot.
Yeah. I wouldn't mess. I won't mess with anybody.
No, but he's 7 feet tall. He's every bit of that as well.
Yeah.
But he's got more of a libertarian, lean to him. But the popularity of him as well, I think, and he still has conservative ideas, and he's not nuts. That needs to be the number one thing. We need people who are not nuts. Can we find that?
I think we need more George Santoses.
He's a good time. No word on whether or not they're going to pardon him.
Yeah,
Him
no
or
word.
what's her name? Ghislaine. She should not be there, by the way. She should not be.
They never explained that.
So if you're in a federal detention center and you are a sex offender, you're only in certain areas because you have to be protected. And they moved her to a place where tougher to protect, and also you got an upgrade. I mean, this is club fed.
Go out and play tennis during the
she
yard
played
time.
tennis, do all this stuff. You rewarded her. So, no. Wonder what Glenn would do with that. That's what he would do. Man, because whenever I hear Burchett talk about it, it would be an honor. He wants it. I think he'd be a great senator, too. I have no problem. I think he'd be great. The problem is, though, the House.
Do you have more subpoena power as a senator?
You got a lot more power than
So then he could really get us the UFO files.
Oh, absolutely.
I think we got to make this
That's
happen.
probably another reason why they don't want him there. Anyways, Tulsi's getting him. Did you see Tulsi last week said she's going to get him for everybody? Yeah. When are we going to get him? As soon as we get close to finding out the real truth about Epstein, we're going to find out it was aliens. If Trump is anywhere in there, oh, wait, it's all been redacted. But let's just say he was, and there was some stuff that was not so nice. I guarantee you Trump's going to walk out on stage with a 3-foot green guy with 3 fingers. How are you?
That has a bag of Reese's Pieces in one hand.
Mm-hmm. You guys thinking about that Epstein guy? Probably not. You're thinking about green guy.
I just brought you an alien and you're still asking questions about Epstein.
Yeah, that's great. We already knew there was aliens, but what about that whole thing with the kid toucher guy? What about that? Says in there that I never met him. What about all the pictures? Didn't know him. Never met him. I think, and again, I don't think Trump did anything. I don't even think Clinton did. I know. But I do think there are a lot of high-powered people that a lot of people wanted to protect. And that's my issue. So we'll see. This will be interesting, though. I am interested to see if who would be the choice. And you're right about him being a more of a libertarian. Didn't he run in the Libertarian Party at one time? Is there really a Libertarian Party?
The Libertarian Party is a clown show. That's the problem. Libertarian principles, awesome. Libertarian Party, nut jobs. But I think he definitely ran as a Republican for mayor of Knox County because he needed the backing and the funding.
Yeah. But he does have a little bit more.
He's definitely probably one of the more. I would put him right up there with Rand Paul in terms of libertarian philosophy and attempts to execute.
Yeah. I think what I'm a Ron Paul guy. I love Ron Paul. I think Ron Paul is, if he was younger, I think he'd have a chance to do something. Yeah, in the series. Rand is a little bit more, he is still got that libertarian link, but he's more Republican than libertarian, Rand.
Well, I think a lot of times Rand has the comfort of being able to vote libertarian principles because he knows his vote is not going to derail something.
Yeah, that's when you know somebody's got the cojones.
Yeah.
About if you're willing to vote on something that you know your vote is tie breaking. It is it. Man, that's a tough thing.
But Rand just has the convenience of being able to be the standalone guy going, I'm not voting for this crazy bill when he knows it's going to pass anyway.
Yeah. Somebody thinks Burchett is a statesman. Yeah, Burchett is. Burchett's a good guy.
Yeah, he told Dan Mandis this morning, he said he would be honored to accept the seat, but he knows going in, he says that he's not very popular, with the money, if you will, behind the Republican Party, because he says he just doesn't go along with with everything.
And that's why
he was one of the guys that helped to oust Speaker before
McCarthy.
Yeah, he was one of the guys that voted to oust McCarthy.
Yeah, and everybody dislikes McCarthy. You know that job is a thankless job. Everybody's going to hate you. The number one point of that job, though, is raising money. That's one thing. McCarthy was a beast at raising money, because you have to. Not only do you have to try to make one side of your, I got the super, I've got the Massies over here and these people that I got to talk to. And then I've got to go over here to the Freedom Caucus. And then I've just got the old styly Republicans. And you've also got to go talk to all the donors, and you have to raise money. And then you have to decide, where are we going to put this money? It is a thankless job. And every one of them that leaves, we talk about that Boehner. Remember when he left? And what did Boehner do? Went to the weed people, started going out there.
Wants to legalize the pot.
Wants to legalize the pot. Ryan left. It's a thankless job. It's always been a thankless job, because you're never going to make everybody happy. When it's not a thankless job is when you have a 20 or 30 seat majority, and if a few people are pissed off, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. But you raise more money now than you do back then, because they don't feel the need to throw money at you if they know you're going to win stuff. Coming up, I'll talk a little about what's going on in D.C. Trump has decided he's got to take over everything. He's got to put out the cops and whatnot.
There's a new sheriff in town.
Could you see Trump riding around on a horse?
Just keep watching. There'll be dire wolves on the streets of D.C.
Absolutely. Get those things.
Oh, my gosh. He's like Dennis Weaver riding on a horse.
He would. Don't give him an idea. Got to stop that. This would be great for me. We could AI it. It'll be fantastic. And anywhere I go, I want to go, instead of here comes the president, I want wah, 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 wah. It's the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. All right, kids and kittens and everybody, I want to tell you a little something about Birch Gold. Birch Gold. Why gold? Gold's made a huge move, over 40+% last 12 months, and continue to move. You've got a weakening of a dollar. You've got the tariffs. You've got the God knows what's going on at the Fed. You got all these things happening, and that's why gold is a good place to look at diversity. And you want to diversify, because having everything in one place, what's your backup plan? Just in case things go south, gold's going to help you with that. Gold's a great place to have a just-in-case moment, protect you. And I tell you what, I've dealt precious metals. I've had precious metals, still do. And I tell everybody, find a great company. Birch is that. Birch is incredible. I want you to text the word Benson to 989898 today. That's the word Benson to 989898. They're going to get you an info kit. They're going to show you about 401ks and IRAs, how you can move them over to a tax-sheltered IRA backed by precious metals. Why owning the physical is a smart thing to do, but most importantly, getting that information to make the right decision for you and your family. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Text the word Benson now to 989898 for Birch Gold. USS, United Structural Systems. Why? Because you never know. You never know what may happen when you need to make sure your foundation is protected. Maybe you got some cracks in there, right? You know, some water leaks have happened in the past. You got the tiny little cracks, even the water getting in through some of those cracks. What do? They cause serious issues like mold, wood rot, and so many other things. And then all of a sudden you need a real structural repair. And that's where USS comes in. All right. You want to get ahead of any water damage. Call USS today. 615-488-7855. 615-488-7855. They'll come out, give you a free inspection. Not going to charge you anything. Say, let us take a look. And if there's something that you need to get done, they'll show you what it is. They're not going to sell you anything you don't need. They're not like that. 30 years in business and continuing to grow each and every day. USS is on top of it. Call them today just to make sure you have peace of mind when it comes to your foundation. Anything that might be structural repair or water damage, they've got you covered. 615-488-7855 or online at USSTN.com.
One person dead, 2 people missing, dozens and dozens of first responders on the scene of that steel plant explosion in Pennsylvania. This story and more coming up at 2:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Man, that's a big explosion.
Yeah.
That's a big old
explosion.
Big. Luckily, though, only one person dead, considering how big it was.
Yeah.
I mean, when you see some of those pictures, it was crazy. Like, just nuts how big some of that stuff is. And I'm always amazed that there isn't more people killed in a situation like that. I don't know if they were on lunch or if maybe just because of, well, for a lack of a better term, automation, that there's not that many people in the building. Either way, only a few were injured. This is a podcast. I want to make sure I have all the beeps here. She loses her mind halfway through. It's a podcast. I think her name is Welch, and we've talked about them before. It started out, she's 2 Oklahoma white women. I'm going to say that because they always talk about white people. Uber progressive, and it was just one of those things where it was called I've Had Enough, and it started out as kind of something fun, you know, two women who are just gabbing, who are well-to-do. Next thing you know, they're uber progressive, and they say crazy things like this.
I've had it with white people that triple trumped, that have the nerve and the audacity to walk into a Mexican restaurant, a Chinese restaurant, an Indian restaurant, go to perhaps their gay hairdresser. I don't think you should be able to enjoy anything but Cracker Barrel.
First of all, wow. I know. Oh, she gets way worse. The gay hairdresser? Well, that's not a stereotype.
No.
Right? Like, wow. Yes, my buddy Brian, he's a hairdresser. He's anything but gay. And let me tell you something. Woo-wee, does he pull the ladies. That being said, his wife was not thrilled by that. Side note, though, that was pretty, so you went off on the white. She's as white as it gets. You can't get more whitey than this, saying this. She's not done, though. She doesn't want us to go anywhere but the Cracker Barrel. I got to be honest. I've seen a lot of reviews lately because the Cracker Barrel's redone itself. Have you seen that?
I saw something on that last night, a little blurb on the news. They were modernizing.
It's very sterile and boring. And I saw this guy, this brother. He's like, look, I got to be honest with you. Maybe some of us a little bit racist, but it was a lot of fun. Now, it's anything but.
And if you want to triple Trump and you want to browbeat DEI and you want to browbeat gay people and you want to browbeat black people as you've been doing for 400 years, and you want to browbeat this generation of immigrants that come over here and open up businesses earnestly, pay their taxes, you want to demonize them and call them rapists and felons and all this shit, when the felon is the teeny weeny mushroom piece of shit, Kankle's McTaco tits at the top of the ticket.
Woo! Man, I'll tell you what.
She's got a lot of food references, doesn't she?
Well, that's because she wants nobody that is white and voted for Trump. I'm unsure about if you are black or Hispanic and you voted for Trump, if you will be allowed to go anywhere but Cracker Barrel.
Right.
Because I think it's fair to know. She's not done.
I have had it from top to bottom. White people that triple Trump should be banned, boycotted from enjoying the best thing that America has to offer, which is multiculturalism. Get your fat asses out of the Mexican restaurant. Get your fat asses over to Cracker Barrel, because nobody wants to see your smug ass teeny weeny pink arm, big gut around. Nobody wants to see that. No one.
Wow.
Is
Anger
it
issues.
just Cracker Barrel, or can I go to Waffle House too?
No, Waffle House is universal.
Okay, then
to the south, and so that's she's mostly pointing at this direction. She's from Tulsa, by the way. Just let you know that, Ken.
Oh, well, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So that is insane. That is absolutely insane. And she has got their podcast has exploded. And they just sit around and talk about how horrible Trump is. What are you guys going to do when Trump's gone? Out of curiosity. But what the hell are you talking about? Oh, you can't go have Mexican food. And diversity, by the way, is great if it's not forced. If it's forced, it's not good. And there's a difference between, let's be diverse and we have this, this culture. No. The culture is, this is America. You've come here, legal or illegal, love it or get the blank out of here. What makes America the beacon on the hill is the fact that you can come here and have opportunities. That's what makes America. Love America or leave it. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to let you know, Matt came in and just told me Glenn Jacobs is going to be on his show today.
Oh, is he? Well, they're very, very braggadocious, isn't it? One time we tasked Bell, like, hey, get Burchett on the phone. He's like, yeah, got him. And then we called and he's like, oh, he's on a plane. I'm like, that was good. Solid. I'll give you a raise.
Hey, all I can do is
get The Undertaker on the phone. Is he still alive?
I don't know.
I believe so.
Okay.
All I can do is schedule the appointment. I can't make him, make the phone call.
You got to go through Paul Bear.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Paul Bear. Little guy.
Hey, little fella.
Nice. We'll have more on this lady and her wonderful thing. I've had enough is what it's called. So if you guys want to go check it out, it's interesting, but this is flying around everywhere. And the progressives are very excited. Oh, you should never be able to eat food. That's the dumbest thing in the world because you voted for Trump. Mexican food's great. Mexican food's awesome. I live for Mexican food.
Oh, it's hot. Yes, absolutely.
I miss my little taqueria by my house where the English was very broken, like my grandpa. Hello, Shad. Hi, Grandpa. Say Shad.
Yeah. Mexican food is different in the Southwest.
It is different.
And a lot of it is authentic Mexican food.
Yeah, it's real. Like the place where we used to get our burritos, which weighed like 12 pounds, this Mexican.
Yeah.
This place, I don't know what was in the vat. It was like you got home and it was, I know they ate it and they made the hot sauce. So it was like, you like it, but you hurt your face. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, sounds good. Sign me up. Sign me up. Coming up, we're going to visit the Pooter in Russia. No, not so much, but maybe Alaska on Friday. We'll talk a little bit about that. Trump takes over D.C., among other things. Chad Benz Show, Super Talk 997.
.2:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We know one person has died, 2 people unaccounted for, dozens and dozens of first responders on the scene of that steel plant explosion there in Pennsylvania. Here's ABC's Jacqueline Lee.
This happened about 15 miles outside Pittsburgh in an area called Clairton. There is a rescue operation underway, and that is what is making this so stressful for so many families that have loved ones who are working at that steel plant because they do not know what exactly is going on.
Yeah, at least 2 patients are at a level 1 trauma and burn center. Money news. Big EV announcement by Ford Motor Company today, announcing a $5 billion investment to be split between Louisville and Michigan. $2 billion to modernize their plant there in Louisville, Kentucky. $3 billion to build a new battery plant in Michigan. And a deal they say will create or secure about 4,000 jobs between the two. This new model will be a mid-size 4-door electric pickup truck targeting a $30,000 price point, entering production at the Louisville plant in 2027. And a recent recall has been issued for Favorite Day Bakery frosted sugar cookies sold at Target stores here in Tennessee, Kentucky, and 18 other states. Favorite Day Bakery frosted sugar cookies in the 10-count packages, 13.5 ounces. Potential contamination with foreign material, specifically wood fragments. They say don't eat the cookies. You can dispose of them or return them to Target for a full refund. and insisting the nation's capital is overrun by criminals despite data indicating violent offenses are down this year. President Trump's asserting federal control over D.C.'s police department. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
The law President Trump is invoking, never used before, allows him to control the D.C. Police Department for 30 days unless Congress acts to extend the takeover. I asked the U.S. Attorney for D.C., Janine Pirro, if anyone will notice the difference.
Oh, you're going to notice it. You're going to notice it, and the people who need to see it are going to notice it.
Pirro says the department takeover and an enhanced show of force by federal law enforcement and the National Guard will send a visual message to would-be criminals.
I think they will understand that we mean business.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, the White House.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Kids are back at school. Busy Bee wants to make sure that not only are you taken care of when it comes to your septic. Right now, 15% off any septic work, main drain lines, or whole home repipes. But how about this? Just in time for the new year and the new school year I'm talking about, you can upgrade your HVAC system and get entered in to win a Healthy Hive giveaway. So check this out. $15 sponsorship to local school of your choice. Got to be within the service area. And when it comes to doing other things for teachers, faculty, coaches, if you buy a Beehive membership, they're going to let you gift one to a teacher, to a coach, to a faculty member inside the service area. So you buy one, you gift one. It's that awesome. They got tons of great things going on when it comes to HVAC and plumbing, but they're there for the community, and that's what I love about Busy Bee. So what are you waiting for? Whether you've got yourself just a little problem, don't let it become big, or whether you are like going, yeah, you know what, I could absolutely go for new HVAC, especially as it's going to start to go from hot to cool. Busy Bees, who you call. Call 775-7833, 775-7833, or visit busybeehvac.com. That's busybeehvac.com to schedule. Rough Greens is great for your dog, no matter what your routine is in the morning. Right? All of us have a routine. Shower, breakfast, maybe energy drink, stuff like that. We got our fuel. Get ourselves going. That's what dogs need. And guess what? Your dog needs a little bit of Rough Greens. It is incredible. It's got live nutrition. It's going to help fuel their day. Rough Greens is America's #1 dog supplement. And I will tell you, I've been giving it to my dog since the day we brought him home. Give it to our older dog. It helped them in tremendous ways, but not only with their coat and their skin, especially if you have allergies with your dogs, their heart health. And it kept our older dog alive a lot longer than we thought he was going to live. And it helped with his aches and pains in his joints. But the energy level went through the roof with him, which was great because he had slowed down a lot. Next thing you know, we had 2 smaller dogs, younger ones at home, and he played with them. That's all because of Rough Greens. Fuel their day with Rough Greens right now. It's the #1 dog supplement in America. All you have to do is go to roughgreens.com/Chad. They're going to send you out a $20 Jumpstart value bag. You don't pay anything but shipping. They give you it for free. RUFFgreens.com, roughgreens.com/Chad. Trump's taking over D.C. Who's excited for that? By the way, let's hear some of the things Trump has said about D.C. Over the last several weeks.
The capital of the United States of America, Washington, D.C. We will clean it up, renovate it, and rebuild our capital cities so that it will be an absolute beacon of beauty and peace and prosperity and no longer be the crime capital virtually of the world. You know, being in real estate, I always kept clean properties. I like clean, well-run, tippy-top, we say. Tippy-top. We want them to be tippy-top. Well, our capital is the opposite of tippy-top. It's a house. Horrible. It's horrible.
It's tippy-top, kids. It's tippy-top. It's a house. So he's taking it over. What does that mean? I don't know. We're going to find out how this plays itself out. I do know this. This is the mayor, Bowser. Like Sha-na-na? No, but might as well have been in Sha-na-na. She's not thrilled by this, but she's all coming.
The Home Rule Charter requires the mayor to provide the services of MPD during special conditions of an emergency, and we will follow the law. Though there's a question about the subjectivity of that declaration. In fact, the chief has already provided a high-level liaison and point of contact with the federal government and made those initial contacts.
Great. Is it going to happen to other cities? I saw Matt tweeted out something earlier, and I even saw a couple of people say, D.C.'s an odd thing, right? It's not a city. It's not a state. It's this weird. You know what it was? It was meant for it to be a place where you come and work for a little bit and then you go back to your state. That's what it was meant for. It wasn't meant for people to live. Think of it as a strip mall.
It was also meant to be neutral ground where all the states could get together and nobody was fighting over, you're on my territory.
Yeah, and it was a place, too, where when diplomats and leaders from around the world would come, the White House at the time was this beautiful, amazing thing. It was supposed to be, kind of stuff. I don't really think that a lot of us realize that they built some really big castles and things for palaces for them. But that's what it was meant to be. It was the people's house. I mean, go look at Andrew Jackson after he won. He invited everybody over to the people's house. And they wouldn't leave. And what I mean, everybody who came to the inauguration got to go to the people's house. And then he's like, come over to my house. We'll go over here. And then he had to put everything out on the lawn of the White House, the beer and stuff, and told them to go out there because they wouldn't leave. But it is a different thing. Now, do I want to see him do this in L.A.? No. New York? Absolutely not. Sorry. I don't want the federal government taking over because it's two different things, and I don't want them taking over our cities. That's not what we are. It's not what we're about. D.C.'s an odd thing, and it also goes back to you can arrest everybody you want, but if you don't have people that are going to actually say, I'm going to go through with the case, then what do you have? Because that's one of the big issues here for a lot of these places. The mayors, the DAs, all over in a lot of these cities, they refuse to do their jobs. They say, well, we don't want this, or we don't want that, or we want this kind of special, situation where nobody has cash bail, right? You can get out Okay, in some cases, I think our bail is punitive. I think it's ridiculous. In other cases, no, that person shouldn't be let out. But common sense eludes everybody in these kind of things. And now we've got this. Now we've got Trump saying, all right, I got to take everything over.
This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital back. We're taking it back.
Taking it back. I didn't know it was anywhere. Yeah, taking it back.
I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor, and worse.
Is there something worse than squalor? Do you guys know that? Anything worse than squalor?
I've lived in a few towns like that.
What's the worst town you've lived in?
Lindsay, Oklahoma.
Why? What was that about?
Just was. No, actually, it wasn't Lindsay. It had to have been Sulphur, Oklahoma. And that's because it smells like sulfur.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
It's different.
The water.
Do you ever
Not
live
good.
anywhere?
Not good.
Not good. Not good. Do you ever live anywhere where it was you were nervous to do stuff or leave something somewhere?
Well, when I lived in downtown Tulsa, yes. Tulsa, for a mid-sized city, can be a very, very violent city.
Oh, it can.
Back in the day,
and
it
Albuquerque
was.
Too. I mean, there's a joke. Everybody calls it Albuquerque for a reason. Certain parts of Albuquerque are not good.
No, they're not.
No, every big city has an area.
They've got them. They've got them.
Yeah, every big
but
city.
probably, I would have to say where I actually lived at the time, my wife and I, whenever we were, dating and then, first married, downtown Tulsa could be a bold adventure.
A bold adventure. I've lived in some places that were shady. We were poor growing up. We lived in some shady areas. I'm not gonna lie to you on that. And some shady, serious kind of shady areas. But when you committed a crime back in the day, or like even now they're talking about, what did they say, that violent crime is down 25%. That may be true, but crime itself across the board just isn't being reported anymore. And if it's not reported, does it mean it doesn't happen?
Right.
I mean, look at Oakland and all. You get something stolen, you're not calling the police at this point in time. They're not going to show up for several hours. And what are they going to do? They're going to tell you, what do you want us to do about it? You got your laptop stolen. And they're going to tell you shouldn't leave it in the back.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, I was in the drive-thru. It's little things. There's some of these areas, but even if you catch somebody who's done horrible things, the cops are still doing the paperwork as those guys are walking out of jail. So if you don't have a DA who's willing to prosecute and a mayor that's willing to back them up, I don't care how many people you arrest. They're just going to let them all out. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. DC's got their problems. They've had problems for a while. I've heard about that forever with DC. Somebody said Muscoy, California. Yes, Walter White is from Albuquerque.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I do have a story. I mean, my wife, whenever we first moved to Albuquerque, we had just this little one bedroom apartment. And we had just found out she was pregnant. I worked afternoon, nights. She calls me one night, and I can hear a bunch of commotion behind her. I thought she was outside, but she was actually in our apartment. There were about 15 to 20 people out fighting outside of our apartment. And she said there's a lot of them are wearing bandanas.
Ooh.
And I said, okay. I said, have you called police? And she said, yes, I've called police. I'm just kind of freaked out. And this is after I had gone downstairs a couple of times and banged on our neighbor's door to tell him to pipe down. Turns out there was quite a gang presence there in that apartment.
It's how long did you guys stay there?
We left probably about a month. By a month later, we had found a house and we were out of there.
You got to get out of there. You got to.
Yeah, and I mean, I told the people who were running it. And then a month later, there was a huge drug bust there, And I mean, they rounded up a lot of purported, gang members. That was a rough place, man.
It should all have been legal.
Well, yeah, then we don't have to worry about it. What about you, Belle? Have you ever lived somewhere that's like so dangerous? where you're like-
Aurora, Colorado.
Where?
Right outside of Denver. Aurora.
Oh,
Yeah. It was a dump.
yeah. Well, that's where the first. Isn't that the first place we heard about the Tren de Agua? Was Aurora?
I think so.
Those
Like that
apartments?
was,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah, some places are, so it's funny because cities are big, and some cities like St. Louis has some nice parts, and there's East St. Louis. You don't go there. You don't. And they'll tell you if you go to New Orleans, stay out here stay in the quarter. If you start going to certain areas, it ain't good. Right? And you've got to watch it. But he's going to do what he does there. That's great. I don't know what it's going to do because then you're also running into situations where you got cops now working with FBI. Would you say ATF as well?
Oh, all of them.
All of them.
DEA,
DEA,
ATF.
yeah. And I don't know how that's going to work. But if it expands from there, no, I don't want troops on the street. That is not a look that I want any part of. I'm already worried about the militarization of local law enforcement. Hey, that crew over there in San Diego or Seattle has a tank. Why can't we have a tank? You don't need a tank. So what the real issue is, though, find DAs and put DAs in place that are going to be strong on crime, not ridiculous, but strong.
Sounds like Barney Fife going to Andy going, why don't we have any submachine guns?
Yeah, no doubt.
Barn, put the key back by the jail. Remember, they kept the key right there.
Right by the jail. What was the drunk guy called?
Otis Campbell.
Otis, that's right, Otis.
Only married guy on the show.
Yeah, that's right.
Come on in. His wife. She didn't really seem to care that he was an alcoholic. What was that all about? Come on. You guys got to do better.
Well, she cared. He just didn't care that she cared.
Yeah, no doubt. That was it. And the haircut guy, what was his name too?
Floyd.
Floyd, right?
Yeah, Floyd.
Floyd the barber.
Lawson.
Aurora. Belkay. I lived in Aurora, says somebody.
My sympathies.
So, wait, hold on. So I just turned you on and you're already pissing me off. I guess just let crime run rampant in D.C., right, Mr. Liberal? It's not even what I said.
No, it's exactly what you said.
It's not even close to what I said.
That's precisely what you said. You should just give it over to the criminals and the gangs, and let's just stop all. We just go into a dictatorship. That's exactly what you said.
So, just crazy.
Ray just loves being black or white.
He does. Well, you know what? If it's on your streets, I bet you wouldn't be thrilled by it. And I tell you this, how many Republicans out there who and libertarians, people like, I don't know if I really want, more militarization of our police, but then this is okay. And again, D.C. is a different thing because Trump has a different power over D.C., but do I want this in Chicago? No, nor should you want this. What you should want and what we should push for is DAs that are going to prosecute and hold people accountable for their actions, rather than if you go and arrest 100 people and you decide to release 100 people on their own recognizance, no matter what they do outside of murder, that's not going to get anything done. They're just going to go out and reoffend as much as possible. Coming up, we got the welcome mat. I saw him wandering around here. He'll be in here straight ahead. Chad Bensdale, Super Talk 997. Hey, you tweeted out something earlier, and I agreed with it. DC is a special case when it comes to what's going on in crime there, but I don't want them rolling around on the streets.
No,
Did you retweet it?
That's
no,
different.
I was going to, because so that way everybody can be mad at
Doesn't
me.
count if you didn't retweet it.
Oh, come on, retweet it.
I'm going to.
Why don't you retweet it?
I'm going to, man.
You promise?
I promise.
Will you look
I
for my drink while you do it?
Did not matter. I retweeted it.
Oh, yeah, Bell retweeted it. Yeah, I mean, and we'll go over it. I don't know if you've gone over it. I'll go over it. I mean, if it's been merit, it goes over. You go over it twice. That's okay. D.C. is just a special entity. I mean, most people don't know that Washington, D.C., until the year of my birth, 1973, was controlled by 3 people who were directly appointed by the President of the United States. It was controlled by the President of the United States.
Because it was never meant to be a place that people live. It was meant to be, I said it's a strip mall for the wealthy and the politics.
Right. And so now that people live there, they said, okay, you can have a certain level of autonomy or local control, but we're going to keep the ability to take any of that back if we want to. Plus, if you live in a state, who calls up to the National Guard? The governor.
The governor. They don't
in
have a
Washington,
governor.
D.C., it's the president.
Yeah.
And so he gets to do this. But you don't get to do it in San Francisco. Those people have to deal with what they've elected.
And I've been saying this. You can have as many people out there who are arresting people, but if you give them over to the DA and the DA says cut them loose, it doesn't matter.
Well, because that is a part of the judicial system that's where it breaks down,
That's
right?
where
It can
breaks
break down anywhere along the chain. And if that's the case, these people have to reap what they sow until such time as they stand up and say, no, we hate this.
And that's what San Francisco finally said. Chesa Bodine, who was there, that we're recalling you. You're letting everybody out. Crime's running rampant. People are doing horrible things. They recalled him. They got somebody's like, look, we're not going to, somebody's got, a warrant in another county for missing child payments. We're not going to keep them in jail for 1.5 years. We'll let them out. But if you kill somebody,
you got to go to jail.
You're going to jail, and we're going to prosecute you.
Well, and I do think that Trump, I will say this, I do think Trump said it the right way today, that if we want to do anything federally about cashless bail, you got to go to Congress. You got to get Congress to pass something. Now, I don't know that I would necessarily agree taking that ability away from the states, but that's the way to do it if you're going to do it. I don't know that I agree with that. I think these liberal states have to live with what they bring to themselves to the point that they break. And it's going to be bad for a lot of people in California. It's going to be bad for a lot of people in some of these liberal.
And when they finally breaks, you see what they're doing in places where like, all right, we can't have this anymore. They got rid of Gascon down in L.A.
Right.
They get rid of him because they're like, no, this is doesn't matter if you arrest 1 million people. If you tell them all get out of jail, we don't care. Then what are you doing? You're wasting the cops' time at that point in time.
Well, and believe it or not, the criminals are dumb, but they're not so dumb that they don't realize it.
Yeah.
That, if I steal, out in California, the whole, what was it, $750?
It was like $990. They were taking in the calculator.
Right. They're bringing the calculator into where they're going to steal something, making sure that they're under the limit where they can just walk right out of jail.
Yeah. And then as they're filling out the paperwork, there goes the guy. Like, bye. Hey, thanks for coming. It has to be a two-pronged attack, and you've got to have your DA and your mayor and the city council behind you. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Hey, I was listening to you earlier today.
Yeah.
You know who I got on the show today?
I heard. You got Kane on the show.
I got Glenn Jacobs on the show.
That's going to
He's
be
coming
awesome.
by. I'm going to say you're going to be the next senator.
I think he is.
I feel bad for John Rose. I'm going to talk about this, too. I feel bad that we're talking this way a year out. But, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do, John?
If somebody said to you, you got to bet all your money, who you choosing?
I'm thankful that the election's not happening today.
That's it.
That's what I will say.
Fantastic.
And then I'll bet on Marshall.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a Monday with Matt. He's straight ahead later.